Biblia inasema hivi, mfano wake ni mtu ajengaye nyumba na kuchimba chini sana na kuweka msingi juu ya mwamba. Na kulipokuja gharika, mito iliushukia nyumba ile kwa nguvu, isiweze kutikisika, kwa maana imejengwa vizuri. Asubuhi ya leo mpendwa, Yesu anasema huyu ni mtu anayekuja kwake, ama ni mtu ambaye anaitanishwa na yeye, anayejiwekea misingi yake vizuri. Maandiko inasema kuna wakati wa gharika na mafuriko yanakuja. Kuna wakati ambaye mawimbi na dhoruba inakuja. Yesu anasema unapojiwekea misingi yako vizuri, unapochukua muda wako na kujenga foundation yako vizuri, na hata gharika na dhoruba ikikuja hautaangushwa, maana umejijengea misingi yako vizuri. Pendwa mtazamaji wangu asubuhi ya leo, Roho wa Bwana Yesu Kristo anasema huyu mtu anayejenga nyumba yake, anayetumia muda wake mzuri na kuweka misingi na kuweka foundation yake, gharika na dhoruba ikikuja, hiyo nyumba haitaanguka, maana hiyo nyumba imejengwa katika misingi za Bwana, maana hiyo nyumba imejengwa katika misingi zinazompendeza Bwana. Asubuhi ya leo ningependa kunena na mtu, jenga nyumba yako katika misingi zinazompendeza Bwana. Uko katika kwenye hiyo ndoa, uko mahali pako pa kazi, iwekee foundation ambaye ni mzuri. Wewe ni mfanyabiashara, jiwekee foundation ambaye ni mzuri. Yesu akasema, mnaniita Bwana Bwana, lakini amyatendi nisemayo. Kumaanisha mpendwa, tunajitanisha na Yesu, lakini hatutaki kutenda mambo ambaye Yesu anasema. Maandiko inasema, Yesu anasema mfano wake ni mtu aliyechimba chini sana. Yaani mtu ambaye amegharamika akiweka misingi. Huyo ndio mtu atakaye jenga nyumba yake, na hata dhoruba na gharika ikikuja, hiyo nyumba haitaanguka. Swali langu kwako asubuhi ya leo, umejijenga katika misingi gani? Umejiweka katika misingi gani? Umeweka watoto wako katika foundation gani, ama katika misingi gani? Bwana amekupatia madhabahu, Bwana amekupatia biashara, Bwana amekupatia shamba, umeiweka katika misingi gani? Biblia inasema, Yesu anasema mstari wake wa 48, mfano wake ni mtu aliyejenga nyumba na kuchimba chini sana na kuweka misingi juu ya mwamba. Asubuhi ya leo ningependa kusema na mtu, weka misingi yako kwenye mwamba. Chimba misingi zako kwenye mwamba. Dhoruba na gharika ikikuja hautaanguka, mawimbi ikikuja haitaanguka, maana umejijenga katika misingi ambazo zinampendeza Bwana. Yesu alipotumia mfano huu, Roho Mtakatifu wa Bwana alikuwa akinipeleka kumaanisha kwa maisha kuna mawimbi, kumaanisha katika maisha kuna dhoruba, kumaanisha katika maisha kuna gharika. Lakini wakati gharika inakuja, foundation yako umeiweka wapi? Asubuhi ya leo tujijenge katika misingi zinazompendeza Bwana. Maandiko inaendelea kusema katika mstari wake wa 49, lakini yule aliyesikia ila hakulitenda, mfano wake ni mtu aliyejenga nyumba yake juu ya ardhi pasipokuwa na msingi. Wenda umekuwa ukisikiza tu neno la Bwana, wenda umekuwa ukisikiza tu wahubiri wengi wakihubiri, hujajijenga Ukristo wako na wokovu wako katika misingi zinazompendeza Bwana. Umeiweka katika juu ya ardhi. Dhoruba na gharika inapokuja utaanguka mpendwa. Asubuhi ya leo sijui ninaongea na nani. Jijenge katika misingi zinazompendeza Bwana. Wokovu ambaye Bwana amekupatia, huduma ambaye Bwana amekupatia. Wenda wewe ni mhudumu ndani ya madhabahu, wenda wewe ni mtendakazi ndani ya madhabahu. Huduma ambaye Bwana amekupatia, umeijenga katika misingi gani? Kuna mawimbi, kuna dhoruba, kuna kutemewa mate, kuna kukataliwa, kuna kurushiwa mawe. Lakini unapojijenga katika misingi zinazompendeza Bwana, mpendwa, dhoruba hizo zikikuja utabaki umesimama. Maana maandiko inasema tukajijenge kwenye mwamba, tukajijenge kwenye misingi zinazompendeza Bwana. Wewe ambaye umeitanishwa na Bwana asubuhi ya leo, ningependa uisikie sauti hii. Jijenge katika misingi zinazompendeza Bwana. Jijenge katika misingi zinazokubalika Bwana. Mawimbi na dhoruba ikikuja utasimama. Hata ukisikiza watu wamekukalia vikao, haitakuuma, maana wokovu wako na huduma ambaye Bwana amekupatia umeiweka katika misingi zinazompendeza Bwana. Kuna dhoruba mpendwa, kuna mawimbi, kuna kutengwa, kuna kukataliwa, kuna kusemwa, kuna kutukanwa. Lakini umejiweka katika misingi gani? Umejijenga katika misingi gani? Ningependa kukuhimiza asubuhi ya leo, ama ningependa kukutia moyo asubuhi ya leo, jijenge katika misingi zinazompendeza Bwana. Wakati Yesu alikuwa anaongea na wanafunzi wake, alikuwa anajua kuna mawimbi katika safari ya kumtumikia Bwana, katika safari ya kutembea na Bwana, katika safari ya kujuana na Mungu wako. Kuna mawimbi. Hata mahali ambapo unafanya kazi kuna mawimbi. Hata mahali ambapo umeajiriwa kuna mawimbi. Je, umejijenga katika misingi gani? Dhoruba na gharika ikikuja, utabaki umesimama ama utaanguka? Utabaki umesimama ama utaisha? Maandiko inaendelea kusema katika kitabu cha Zaburi. Tukiingia katika kitabu cha Zaburi 11 mstari wake wa 3. Mwana Zaburi anasema nini asubuhi ya leo? Kama misingi ikiharibika, mwenye haki atafanya nini? Praise God. Asubuhi ya leo mwana Zaburi anauliza, kama hiyo misingi inaweza kuharibika, wewe mwenye haki utafanya nini? Wewe ambaye unaitanishwa na Bwana utafanya nini? Wewe ambaye unalitaja jina la Bwana utafanya nini? Asubuhi ya leo ningependa kukutia moyo. Wewe mwenye haki utadumu kwa maombi. Wakati misingi imeharibika, wakati dhoruba na gharika, wakati dhoruba maji yamechafuka, bahari imechafuka, tufani imechafuka mpaka karibu uzame. Daudi anasema wakati huo ukifika, wewe mwenye haki utafanya nini? Hilo ni swali lako na ni swali langu asubuhi ya leo. Sisi ambaye tunaitanishwa na Bwana, wakati dhoruba itakuja, sisi wenye haki tutafanya nini? Wakati gharika itakuja, sisi wenye haki tutafanya nini? Ningependa kukutia moyo asubuhi ya leo. Wewe mwenye haki utadumu kwa maombi. Wewe mwenye haki utadumu kumtafuta Bwana. Wewe mwenye haki utadumu kukaa na Bwana. Maana kuna mawimbi, maana kuna dhoruba, maana kuna kukataliwa, maana kuna kutengwa, kuna kutemewa mate, kuna kusengenywa. Wewe mwenye haki utafanya nini? Mpendwa mtazamaji wangu asubuhi ya leo, ningependa kusema na moyo wako. Ningependa kuzungumza na wewe asubuhi ya leo. Mwenye haki hautatoka katika njia za Bwana. Maana umejijengea foundation ambaye misingi haitaanguka. Maana umejiwekea misingi ambaye ni imara. Maana umejijenga kwenye mwamba. Umejiwekea misingi, umejiwekea kuta ambazo ni strong. Wakati hiyo gharika itakuja haitakuangusha. Wewe mwenye haki utadumu kwa maombi. Wewe mwenye haki utatafuta nafasi yako ya kuongea na Bwana. Wewe mwenye haki utatafuta nafasi yako ya kusemezana na Bwana wakati mambo yameharibika, wakati ulimwengu umechafuka, wakati magonjwa yameinuka. Wewe mwenye haki utafanya nini? Mpendwa mtazamaji wangu asubuhi ya leo, ningependa tu kukutia moyo. Dumu katika maombi. Jiwekee misingi. Kuna wakati wa magonjwa, kuna wakati wa kulia, kuna wakati wa kucheka. Elewa nyakati na majira yako. Maana katika maisha ya Kristo kuna wakati wa kulia, kuna wakati wa kucheka, kuna wakati wa kufurahi, kuna wakati wa kulala. Nataka kusema nini asubuhi ya leo? Jua kutembea na hizo nyakati. Mambo yanaweza kuharibika. Si ati mambo yakiharibika unaachana na Bwana. Si ati mambo yakiharibika unamkana Yesu. Hapana. Wakati mambo ni magumu, ni wakati wako mzuri wa kukaa kwenye magoti na kuongea na Mungu wako. Ni wakati wako mzuri wa kuweka magoti yako chini na kumtafuta Bwana. Misingi za watoto wetu zinaweza kuharibika. Misingi za kanisa zinaweza kuharibika. Misingi za ndoa zinaweza kuharibika. Swali langu asubuhi ya leo, wewe mwenye haki utafanya nini? Maana kuna kuharibika kwa msingi. Wewe mwenye haki utafanya nini? Kuna wakati mwingine misingi za watoto wetu zinaharibika. Watoto wanafika stage zingine au waelewi. Wewe mwenye haki utafanya nini? Utakataa watoto wako? Utawatenga? Utawalaani? Hapana. Wewe mwenye haki utaweka magoti yako chini na kumulilia Bwana. Wewe mwenye haki utaweka magoti yako chini na kumtafuta Bwana. Mpendwa mtazamaji wangu asubuhi ya leo, weka misingi zako katika Bwana. Jijenge katika mwamba. Jijenge katika misingi ambazo zinampendeza Bwana. Wakati dhoruba inakuja, wewe utabakia umesimama. Watu wataanza kuulizana, wewe ulifanya nini? Watu wataanza kuulizana, ulienda wapi? Lakini siri asubuhi ya leo ningependa kukupatia, kabla hujaenda mahali pako pa kazi, kabla hujaenda kwenye shughuli zako za kila siku, jijenge katika misingi. Kuna misingi ya biashara kuenda chini. Kuna misingi ya biashara kuharibika. Kuna misingi ya wewe hata kufutwa mahali pako pa kazi. Wewe mwenye haki utafanya nini? Utasema, Bwana ulinipatia kazi saizi imeisha, mimi na wewe tumeachana. Hapana. Kuna misingi ya mtumishi wa Mungu. Wakati mwingine madhabahu yanatawanyika. Wakati mwingine washirika hawakuelewi. Wakati mwingine kanisa inapasuka katikati. Wewe mwenye haki utafanya nini? Utaacha kumtumikia Bwana juu ya misingi imetingisika? Maana kuna kutingizwa kwa misingi. Hilo ndilo ambalo ninataka ushike asubuhi ya leo. Kuna kutingishwa, kuna misingi inatingizwa. Huyu ni Yesu mwenyewe anasema, kuna kutingizwa. Mwenye haki utadumu katika kumtafuta Bwana. Mwenye haki utadumu katika kusoma neno la Bwana. Mwenye haki utadumu katika maombi. Mwenye haki utakaa katika unyenyekevu na kumngojea Bwana. Maana kuna kutingizwa kwa misingi. Mwana Zaburi anasema nini? Wakati misingi inaharibika, wewe mwenye haki utasema nini? Hayo ni maneno ya Daudi. Wakati misingi yako imetingizwa, wakati hiyo ndoa ambaye Bwana amekupatia, wenda uliolewa na heshima, wenda ulifanya harusi ya kipekee, ukafika kwenye hiyo ndoa, mambo ambayo ulikuwa unatarajia huku yapata mahali pale, wewe mwenye haki utafanya nini? Utaacha ndoa yako juu misingi ya ndoa yako imetingizwa? Hapana. Utadumu kwa maombi. Utadumu ukimtafuta Bwana. Utadumu ukikaa ukimulilia Bwana. Wakati misingi ya familia yenu imetingizwa, wakati misingi ya familia yenu imetingizwa, utajitenga kwenye hiyo familia, wewe ambaye unaitanishwa na Bwana. Maana Yesu anasema, kwa nini mnaniita Bwana Bwana, walakini hamyatendi nifanyaye? Wewe ambaye umejiitanisha na Bwana, utajitenga kwenye hiyo familia. Wakati dhoruba na gharika imeinuka, utatoka kwenye hiyo familia? Hapana. Utadumu katika maombi. Utadumu ukimtafuta Bwana. Utadumu ukimulilia Bwana. Maana kuna kutingizwa kwa misingi. Asubuhi ya leo, mpendwa mtazamaji wangu, wacha tukajijenge katika misingi zinazompendeza Bwana. Wacha tukajitenge katika msingi. Wakati adui anakuja, tumejiwekea foundation. Tumejiwekea misingi ambaye ni imara. Tumejiwekea misingi ambaye adui hataweza kupenya. Maana maandiko inasema katika Luke, ati wakati tulilala, shetani alipata nafasi akaingia. Na wakati shetani aliingia, aliharibu mambo. Wenda wakati tumelala, shetani akaingia. Wakati shetani aliingia, akaanza kutingiza misingi zetu. Mpendwa, ni wakati ambaye tukatambue wakati na majira. Tuko katika majira gani? Kuna kutingizwa katika safari ya wokovu, katika safari ya wewe kujuana na Bwana, katika safari ya wewe kumtumikia Bwana, katika safari ya wewe kutembea na Bwana. Kuna kutingizwa kwa misingi. Wewe mwenye haki utafanya nini? Ningependa kukutia moyo asubuhi ya leo. Ningependa kuzungumza na mtu asubuhi ya leo. Mwenye haki utamtafuta Bwana. Mwenye haki utakaa ukimngojea Bwana. Mwenye haki utatafuta nafasi yako ukisemezana na Bwana wakati misingi zako zinatingizwa. Asubuhi ya leo, mpendwa mtazamaji wangu, neno hili ningependa tu ulichukulie kwa uzito. Haya ni maneno ambaye Yesu anatumia mifano akisema na wanafunzi wake. Wenda wanafunzi wake walikuwa wanajitanishwa na yeye, lakini wakati misingi inatingizwa wanamwacha. Lakini wakati misingi inatingizwa wanaachana, wanatoka kwenye njia. Ningependa asubuhi ya leo tukajijenge katika mwamba. Asubuhi ya leo Yesu anasema mfano wake mtu aliyejenga nyumba yake na kuchimba chini sana na kuweka misingi juu ya mwamba, na kulipokuja gharika, mto uliishukia nyumba ile kwa nguvu isiweze kutingizika. Kwa nini hiyo nyumba haikuweza kutingizika? Maana aliijenga kwenye mwamba. Kwa nini hiyo ndoa haikuweza kutingizika? Kwa maana umeijenga kwenye mwamba. Kwa nini hiyo huduma haikuweza kutingizika? kwa maana umeijenga kwenye mwamba. Asubuhi ya leo mtazamaji wangu, wacha tukajijenge kwenye mwamba. Wacha tukajijenge kwenye misingi zinazompendeza Bwana. Isifike mahali wakati mambo yanaharibika unakana injili. Wakati mambo yanaharibika unaachana na Mungu. Wakati mambo yanaharibika unatoka kwenye njia zinazompendeza Bwana. Hapana. Wakati mambo yameinuka, wakati maadui wamekuwa wengi, wakati unaona vita vimechacha, kona zote hakuna amani, wewe tafuta nafasi yako na Mungu wako. Wewe tafuta nafasi yako na Mungu. Jiweke katika nafasi ya kumtafuta Bwana vizuri. Maana kuna kutingizwa. Kuna misingi kutingizwa. Maana maandiko inasema, wewe uliyedhania umesimama, chunga sana, maana kuanguka kwako ni karibu. Unaweza dhania umesimama. Unaweza dhania sasa wewe umefika. Unaweza dhania sasa wewe umeinuliwa zaidi. Hapana. Maandiko inasema chunga sana, maana unaweza kuanguka. Asubuhi ya leo, wacha tukajijenge katika misingi zinazompendeza Bwana. Wacha tukajijenge katika misingi ambazo mawimbi yakikuja hatutaanguka. Wakati mawimbi yakikuja hautatingizika. Wakati hata ukisikia fulani amekusema hautatingizika. Ni kwa nini mpendwa? Umejijenga katika misingi zinazompendeza Bwana. Na shetani atakutoa kwa your position, kwenye nafasi ambaye Bwana amekupatia. Shetani atakung'oa mahali pale, maana umejijenga katika misingi zinazompendeza Bwana. Shetani ataacha, Mungu ataacha biashara yako iporomoke. Ni kwa nini? Umejijenga katika misingi zinazompendeza Bwana. Shetani ataacha watoto wako wapotee. Kwa nini mpendwa? Umewajenga katika misingi zinazompendeza Bwana. Asubuhi ya leo, unapojiandaa kwenda kazini, unapojiandaa kwenda mahali pako pa kazi, unapojiandaa kwenda kwa kampuni ambayo umeajiriwa, unapojiandaa kwenda kuangalia mifugo zako, unajiandaa kwa sababu ya mambo zako, shughuli zako tu za kawaida. Enda ukitafakari neno hili na litakusaidia. Bwana akakusaidie ukajijenge katika misingi zinazompendeza Bwana. Roho wa Bwana akakusaidie ukaanze kujichimbia foundation. Chukua muda wako vizuri, anza kujichimbia misingi. Chukua wakati wako mzuri, anza kuleta materials ya kuanza kusimamisha hizo misingi. Anza kutumia, maana wanasemanga wakati mjenzi anajenga nyumba, wakati mgumu ni wakati anaweka msingi. Wakati anaweka foundation ndio wakati ya utumia nguvu mingi sana. Na wewe katika ulimwengu wa kiroho ama katika safari yako na Mungu wako, anza kuchimba misingi. Ningependa kuzungumzia sana upande wa watoto wetu. Sisi ambaye ni wazazi, anza kuweka watoto wako kwenye misingi ambazo kuna dhoruba na gharika itakuja. Mtoto wako atakuwa amesimama. Ni kwa nini? Wewe kama mzazi umemuweka katika misingi zinazompendeza Bwana. Umemuweka katika misingi ambaye dhoruba na gharika zikikuja, mtoto wako hataanguka. Mpendwa mtazamaji wangu asubuhi ya leo, hilo ndilo neno la Bwana ambaye ni sauti ya kipekee Bwana ametaka uisikie asubuhi ya leo. Ningependa tu uinue imani yako ninapoomba na wewe. Ninapokubariki, ninapokunenea baraka, ninapokunenea ushindi asubuhi ya leo, unapotoka na hili neno na kulikimbia nalo kwenye shughuli lako la kila siku, Bwana akakutangulie. Ningependa tu uamini tunapoomba asubuhi ya leo. Baba, katika jina la Yesu, mfalme wa ajabu, ninakuinua, ninakutukuza, maana wewe ni Mungu. Asubuhi ya leo Bwana, tunasongea tena miguuni pako. Ninanyenyekea miguuni pako Bwana, ni kwa sababu ya neno lako ambalo umeliachilia kwenye masikio ya watazamaji wangu. Baba, ninainua watazamaji wangu na kuwaweka mbele zako asubuhi ya leo. Kuna mtu Bwana amesikia neno hili akiwa kwenye kitanda chake cha hospitali. Kuna mtu Bwana amesikia neno hili akiwa kwenye maumivu. Asubuhi ya leo Bwana, ninatangaza nguvu za uponyaji popote yalipo asubuhi ya leo. Ninapoachilia Bwana neno hili likaponye mtu asubuhi ya leo. Ninatangaza uponyaji kwa wagonjwa wote asubuhi ya leo. Wenda Bwana kuna mtu amesikia neno hili akiwa ako gerezani, akiwa amefungwa, amekata tamaa. Bwana wewe ni Mungu ambaye unasema unakuja wakati unaokufaa. Asubuhi ya leo Bwana ukatembelee pia na wafungwa, ukatembelee na wanaojitayarisha kwenda kazini, maana wewe ni Mungu mwaminifu. Bwana ukawalinde wanapokuwa kazini, na hata wanaporejea nyumbani Bwana ukawalinde. Wengine wanaingia kwenye kampuni zao, wengine wanaingia kwenye shamba zao, wengine wanaingia kwenda kutazama mifugo zao. Asubuhi ya leo Bwana ninanena baraka juu ya maisha yao. Wengine wamefika mahali Bwana hakuna njia, ukawafanyie njia, maana wewe ni Mungu. Asante ni kwa sababu wewe ni Mungu, na ni katika jina la Yesu Kristo ninaomba nikiamini. Amen. Amen. Mpendwa mtazamaji wangu asubuhi ya leo, nilipoanza na kusema majina yangu ni Pastor Bilha Chebet Ochola. Nimeokoka, Yesu Kristo ni Bwana na ni Mwokozi wa maisha yangu. Mimi ni mchungaji na pia ni mke wa mchungaji. Tunahudumu katika kanisa la Jesus Gospel Power Ministry, tuko pale Jericho. Ukifika tu Jericho Happyland, tuko opposite mahali pale. Wenda unaweza fika mahali pale ukakosa namba yangu ya simu. Ningependa kukupatia namba yangu ya simu. Ukifika mahali pale utanipata. Nambari yangu ya simu ni 07 68 47 29 80. Ningerudia tena 07 68 47 29 80. Ukifika mahali pale ukipiga simu yako nitaipokea na utanipata. Ibada zetu siku ya Jumapili sisi huanza kuanzia saa 2 mpaka saa 7 kamili tumemaliza. Tunakukaribisha sana mpendwa mtazamaji wangu, na weekdays mimi hupatikana mahali pale kuanzia saa 4 asubuhi mpaka saa 9 mchana. Ukifika mahali pale utanipata. Karibu sana kwa mashauri, kwa maombi, tukajuane zaidi. Karibu sana utanipata. Mungu wa mbinguni akakubariki na akakutangulie asubuhi ya leo. Wasio na kazi wakapate kazi, waliyefika mwisho Bwana akawafanyie njia, waliye wagonjwa wakapone, ambaye wamekata tumaini katika maisha, Bwana anasema yeye huleta tumaini jipya kwa wanayemtegemea. Asubuhi ya leo ninaamini Bwana ataleta tumaini jipya katika maisha yako. Mungu wa mbinguni akakubariki. Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
My father used to tell me that our hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. Ooh, yeah. We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time, and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environs.
Saturday at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m.
This is a very serious place.
I see that.
Surely. Hey, Nyumba.
This is the place.
Just for a few days.
Rule number 2.
Kwani Google inajua maisha yangu wewe?
That's my seat.
It's a chair.
It was hers.
You're new here?
Yes.
You learned the rhythm.
This place is run by structure. Structure.
It is a system. Ni venye tu ni system haisikizi.
And what happens if something you haven't chosen enters your day?
I remove it.
That's not always going to be possible here.
Then you are going to have a problem.
Noted.
What are you planning? To escape from a resort?
This is not a resort, my friend. This is a storage.
Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47.
My father used to tell me that our hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror.
TV47. The following program is rated GE. It is suitable for general family viewing.
Coach Shadrack Ouma from Physique Gym located in Ruaka. you can get us.
We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time, and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environs.
Every Sunday afternoon, it's the ultimate omnibus. All your favorite shows, back to back, all in one place.
Hapo sasa,
From the laughs of Nimaigai, but
Baby, don't argue about Mwangizi. Mwangizi, calm down.
to the conversations on Vuta Stool.
Oh, mama alikuwa ready kukopa.
Unasema alikuwa shakula rehearsal proper. Rehearsal.
The drama of House Number 9.
Okay, let's go down. Down. No, so venye wanafanya.
And the connections at Connect In.
You're selling fear at my lobby.
What is the man?
Dream big with a bedsitter and a dream.
Tutumie ni lion. Tap.
Or you begging on the internet?
And speak your mind with Unmuted.
oh my God.
And when the evening arrives, it's time for the king of comedy talk, Dr. Ofweneke tonight.
My God, this was the best idea ever.
All your shows, all your vibes, all in one place. Don't miss the Omnibus every Sunday from 2:30 p.m. on TV47. Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m.
You have to be very careful. Fake money can kill business. Na leo mkorada yangu.
Small money. Kapesa kadogo. Big behavior.
I only have big notes.
Alikuwa anatafuta courage.
Yani nafaje kutengeneza kachumbari na manyanya zinakaa hivi? Ona kiki ni kama kiwaru.
Hiyo inaitwa commitment to the lie. Amejicommit.
Ndio hiyo. Mpatie.
Unajua kama una mtu kitu, hata tu salamu ya kawaida inakaa kama reminder.
Habari yako?
Sintalipa kesho.
Kesho gani when?
Si kesho as in kesho ya tomorrow.
Hiyo tena. Mzee ni nikamchoka.
Nebo ni madeni.
Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on TV.
Right, the 19th of August 2026. This is a day, a quite cold one here in Nairobi, but we're here to keep you warm with all the information that you need. How hot is your coffee? My name is Freddie Ndimuli. This is TV47 Breakfast.
My name is Annie Odida. Karibuni sana.
Umetoka mbio.
Umetoka siaka. Tumeanza asubuhi na mbio, but we need that because it's very cold. So you know when you run a little bit in the morning, ama whichever time, as long as kuna baridi, okay, kimbia kidogo.
Okay.
Then unafukuza baridi. Hata you should do it. You umesema unasikia baridi.
Nitoke mbio kidogo.
Toka siaka kidogo and then no that way. Actual siaka, you run properly, thoroughly.
Nimesikia na mimi siaka.
Koma. Freddy anaambiwa anakimbia na mkono. Anyway,
a lot to talk about. That Homa Bay story has refused to leave our headlines, and NCIC has come out to give summons. Watu wanasema mimi nitakuja siku ile nataka.
Yes. Kuji.
Atumenita nitakuja siku ile nataka. That's how toothless NCIC is. Honestly, do we need that body? Ukiuliza, do we really need it? Have you ever had NCIC being of any consequence in anything they've dealt with?
Is it that we are rogue? Is it that NCIC is not working? Because it's either in sisi we are rogue and rude.
You see, once NCIC issues summons to someone, and they have before, and they say, Mimi Skuji, and everyone else is watching, and you can do nothing about it, Siata Mukinita, I'll just say, Miss Skuji.
That someone is none other than Peter Kaduma.
Yes.
Homa Bay Township Member of Parliament. In fact, anasema hiyo translation mmeweka mmemwekelea. Anataka the correct transcription of whatever he said. You know, when you translate that to Kiswahili, it's even worse. Because alisema anyone who chants one term, pita na wao.
Alisema that's politics. Ati vile anasema I'll deal with you politically. Ndapita na wewe kisiasa.
Mimi naona hata mkisema I'll deal with you guys are being so lenient on Kaluma. Literally, that thing, if a Luo had it, it means we was.
It means something else.
Yes.
Anyway, over to you, NCIC. Let's see what they're going to do. It is one of the big discussions we're having today.
Yeah.
On the front page of the Standard, there's a picture of Mutu Sura Tinginya. He's one of the goons who police is looking for. Ini Misuli Tinginya ama ni Sura ndio Tinginya. We'll be looking at that.
Bado ni Misuli.
Mwenye alipiga hiyo picha.
Ni yeye.
Jamaa tu anakaa goon. Ini selfie.
Yeah, it's a selfie.
Sura na misuli yote Tinginya.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll be looking at the papers later.
Right.
Yeah, quite a lot of discussions. The health summit still going on at the KICC. Big discussions around our health and progression as well. So today being a Wednesday, of course, we'll be having State of the Nation, but later on, Matters of the Heart.
Matters of the Heart, yeah. We are continuing that conversation that we started last week because, you know, last week we were having that conversation on Vision 2060, yeah? So it cut our conversation on childhood trauma short. So we are continuing that conversation because of high demand.
High demand.
Yeah.
Public demand.
High public
Due
demand.
to public demand, the conversation about childhood trauma continues.
Yeah.
Are we saying childhood trauma affects
our life, Emma?
Relationships?
Of course.
Richard Ziwa Zimbalist, Cindy Atieno and Eddie Otunga. They were here last week. They'll still be here today to continue that conversation. Yeah, later on.
It's how many days to the general election? 356. Yes, we are still keeping count on that. I was trying to see what we have today. It's World Humanitarian Day.
Oh, right.
Right.
Interesting.
Also on the radar, because, you know, we love to tell you what's happening in the country. Didi Nyoro anaanza People's Tour.
Yeah. Na ile People's Party.
Yeah. In Murang'a.
Imeleta vurugu sana. It's also one of the discussions we'll be having on State of the Nation. Today we'll be having Fanyamambo Kinodhia. Yes. Fanyamambo Kinodhia is an aspirant for the Dagoretti South MP seat. We'll also be having Advice Mundalo in studio. And who else is here? Yes, Haji Omar, MP aspirant, Langata constituency. These are the gentlemen who will be here for State of the Nation. So do stand by for that coming your way at 6:30. Meanwhile, you can interact with us on our social media pages on TV47 Digital, on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube, where we're streaming live. It is TV47 Kenya. Remember, we're also available on Vibe 47, the app that you can download for free on your phone and watch us anytime.
Right. Use the hashtag TV47 breakfast, hashtag story ni yetu. Let's see how the weather's looking like this morning across the country. It's a mostly cloudy day today in Mombasa County. This morning it's 22 degrees, highs of 29. Kajiado, it's a cloudy day, 14 degrees this morning, highs of 21 degrees. A mostly cloudy day as well in Nairobi, 16 degrees this morning, highs of 21 degrees. So it's not that cold in Nairobi. Partly sunny day in Uasin Gishu, 12 degrees this morning, highs of 24 degrees. It's raining in Kisumu at 19 degrees this morning, highs of 29 degrees. Nyeri, a mostly cloudy day, 14 degrees this morning, highs of 21 degrees today. Unaona hii ya Kisumu, this morning it's 19 degrees, and there are counties that will experience that as the highs today.
29 degrees, that's quite high. I don't understand why then we are feeling this cold in Nairobi, because they're saying it is lows of 16.
Right now, this morning is 16 degrees.
Yes, it doesn't feel like it. It feels like probably 10 or 11 at most. But anyway, this is your weather meteorologist.
Weatherman. That's the state of the weather.
All right. All right, let's take the quote of the day for some inspiration today.
Bring your A game always, not just sometimes. Showing up fully every time guarantees growth, trust, and security in your role.
All right, now because Ndindi Nyoro will be in Murang'a County today, we're starting with Taifa Leo. Manake is on the front page. Wanauliza ni fuko. Hatua ya mbunge wa Kiharu Ndindi Nyoro kuzindua chama kipya imebua mtafaruku wa kisiasa nchini. Ingawa Nyoro anasisitiza hatua hiyo haina uhusiano wala makubaliano yoyote ya kisiri na mwanasiasa yeyote, baadhi ya wadadisi wamemtaja kama mradi wa serikali unaolenga kugawanya kura za eneo la Mlima Kenya. Je, Nyoro anapanga nini? Ingawa Nyoro asisitiza hayumo serikalini, kuna wanaohisi amejibanza kwenye upinzani kusukuma agenda fiche. You know, for a very long time Ndindi Nyoro ameambiwa he's sitting on the fence. But
sasa ameitwa project.
Sasa ameitwa project, but really would you blame people who are saying he's on the fence?
Ameitwa yeye ni fuko. Fuko ndio.
Karibu anaitwa anapewa ile jina ya watermelon.
Amebaki tu kwa watermelon. Ni fuko, ni project.
Yeah. Je. Ndindi Nyoro ni fuko, labda tuambie.
Lakini mbona fuko? Unajua mnyama? Fuko. Ushaimwona?
Ni nini in English?
I think a mole.
A mole.
Yeah. Ndio fuko.
So is Ndindi Nyoro a mole? That is the question that they are asking.
I think it sounds better in English.
It sounds better. Ni fuko inakaa bucket. Amewekwa kwa mfuko ya mtu.
Wewe hujaenda shambani. Fuko ni mnyama ambaye anaoperate kule chini. Especially mahali kuna arrowroots na viazi. Anatoka anaenda anakula viazi huku chini, anachimba shimo huko anaenda anakula viazi. Ukienda kuvuna hakuna viazi.
Anakula both sides.
Ana operate under huko chini, anacheza chini. So, ni fuko.
Atatuambia leo. We'll be following up on that. Apollo Kamau will be there for that update. Vidokeza zaidi. Gavana Mtema naibu wake ni gavana wa Kericho ametangaza kujitenga kwake kisiasa na naibu gavana Fred Kirui. Joe hofia ODM kufifia kisiasa Kwale. Analama idadi ya wanaochaguliwa kupitia chama hicho eneo hilo inapungua. Bas, ile habari ya Zambia election. Hichilema ni 2 term Zambia. Rais wa Zambia Hakainde Hichilema achaguliwa kwa muhula wa pili wa miaka 5.
It's the most interesting thing I've seen. Government bloggers in Kenya are now using that. Hichilema was not very popular, but you can see he's gotten his second term in office, so shauri yenu hivyo ndio itahappen. I don't see the relation. I'm not saying that it won't happen. I'm just thinking these are two different nations with very different dynamics. Why would you believe that the elections in Uganda signal anything that can happen in Kenya or Tanzania for that matter? So why Zambia? Why Zambia of all countries? Would we say the same? Would we say the same about what happened in Botswana, where someone went for one, or in Malawi, where Chakwera only went for 1 term? Should we compare with Kenya? I think hapo mmepotea kiasi.
Okay.
Let's focus on what is happening hapa, because there's a lot happening in Kenya. No comparisons with anywhere else.
On the top strip, wezi wapora mamilioni kwa kamanda GSU, wavamia kwa aliyekuwa kamanda wa kikosi GSU na kupora mamilioni, na aliye mbele kutwa kiatu cha dhahabu. Hii ni masala ya spoti. Haaland ameshinda tuzo ya kiatu cha dhahabu ligi ya Uingereza mara 3 tangu atoke Norway.
Golden boot. All right.
Taifa Leo.
Kutoka kwa Taifa Leo tuangazie The Standard. On the front page of The Standard, we talked about it earlier, where we have this I was just about to call him gentleman. He's not a gentleman in any sense.
There's nothing gentle about him.
There's nothing gentle about him. Untouchable goons, that's the headline. Impunity, they posed for cameras, including taking selfies, issued chilling threats, mobilized armed youth, and later celebrated online after violently shutting down an opposition rally. As Homa Bay reels from 4 deaths, dozens of injuries, and widespread destruction, this paper now unmasks the political foot soldiers accused of turning the lakeside town into a no-go zone and exposes the powerful networks allegedly shielding them from arrest and prosecution. The scale of violence and impunity point to a brazen political militia operating in plain sight. But I wonder, even if we publicly show their faces and shame them, what happens next? Because now, we are meko kwenye front page. Will it lead to his arrest? I remember the last time we had something like this was when I think a member of the diplomatic corps was arrested attacked and assaulted along Forest Road. Alafu one of the papers wakasema it was the goon of Forest Road or something like that. And then they put the image of that boda rider who had assaulted that lady, and it led to his arrest because he had run off. So will it work for this one? Yes, the beast of Forest Road, that's how they put it back then. At least that led to his arrest. Will this one now, this headline, lead to the arrest of this person who's on the front page? Hawajasema jina yake. Goons attack alinda Mwananchi convoy. Anaitwa Abdi Kasim, one of the alleged ringleaders of the group. Abdi Kasim, sura yako iko kwenye ukurasa wa mbele wa gazeti la The Standard. Tunakutafuta, unatafutwa.
Tell your mama you made it.
Well, let's see if these muscles of yours can save you. Hata sura ikuwe tinginya namna gani. Utatafutwa, utapatikana. Siku moja hata kama
sija. Nini hata kama atapatikana. Now that's the question, because you know tukaanza tukuuliza, is NCIC toothless? Well,
I think we've gone beyond NCIC. Why are we talking about NCIC again?
Why not?
Let's talk about DCI and the judiciary and police IG. I think sometimes when you talk about some groupings that are inconsequential, we are wasting valuable time, if you ask me. In the inside pages, Kenya's put on high alert as Super El Nino threatens severe flooding. Now, this is a story that we've not given prominence at all because we are so much focused on politics, but El Nino is coming. Experts warn of landslides, disease outbreaks, destruction of farms and infrastructure. Places like Tana River, Garissa, Kilifi, Mandera, Marsabit, Wajir, Nairobi. Yani Nairobi hatupati break. Busia, Kisumu, Narok, Mombasa and Baringo counties will be hit the hardest. Chances of a strong El Nino during the October, November, December rainfall season is at 96%, meaning inakuja either way. The 2026 El Nino could be stronger than previous seasons recorded in the past, including in 2023, 2015 and 1997. Hii itakuwa serious. All right. State to import 25 million bags of maize to avert food shortage. Imagine we don't have food. 25 million bags of maize have to be imported. Otherwise, tutalala njaa. Those are serious stories that should be actually on the front page. If you ask me, we'd rather talk about this on the front page instead of jamaa kama huyu. Why are we giving him publicity? Sharon murder, Obado seeks mercy from her parents. Hiyo pia ni huyu alikuwa gavana wa Migori. He claims he is a target of a witch hunt over Sharon Otieno's murder, even as he extends an olive branch to her parents. Those are the stories now on the Standard, the front pages. Of course, politics getting prominence and what will happen to anyone arrested in Homa Bay. Mr. President, will you ever crush goons? That's a story on page 7 of the Standard. Back page, Matter Sports. Premier League's new bosses brace for battle, and we have Manchester City's new manager Enzo Maresca, Liverpool's new manager Andoni Iraola, and Chelsea manager Xavi Alonso. Wote hawafiki jamaa anaitwa Mikel Arteta, lakini ni wengi wapya. Let's see. English Premier League starts later this month. Looking forward to that. That's a Standard.
All right, Daily Nation, gang robs ex-GSU boss bags of cash. We talked about this on the front page of Taifa Leo. It's a daring robbery that on Sunday afternoon, 4 armed robbers, 2 men and 2 women, broke into a house at Kitengela Police Sacco Estate in Kajiado County, a neighborhood that is home to senior police officers, and reportedly stole a large amount of money. And as they fled, the gang scattered words of 1,000 shillings notes to distract security guards following a scuffle. The raid on the home of Ranson Lol Modoni, the immediate former General Service Unit Commandant, is now the subject of a high-profile investigation. This story is on page 2 and 3. Former police boss has reported the incident but downplays the theft.
Can I downplay?
Hey, anasema ni kama hakuibiwa hiyo pesa.
Unajua shida ni swali utaulizwa, okay, what were you doing with that amount of money at home? Okay, fine, it's not illegal to have money in their house. But okay, fine, people will ask, okay, so what is the source of the money? And why are you keeping it at home, not in a bank? Hapo ndio shida inakujia.
Right. Other quick headlines. Sharon's family in talks with Obado for assistance. That's another story on page 3. Trial in a victim impact statement. Sharon's parents said they bore no hard feelings towards Obado's family.
They are open to reconciliation with Obado.
Yeah, they need help.
Okay.
Yeah. Matters politics. What is Nyoro up to? Kiharu MP dumps UDA for opposition. That's a story captured on page 4, The Daily Nation. Ruto ally or his own man inside Ndindi Nyoro's stand political test. That his biggest hurdle is overcoming claims that PPK could serve President Ruto's interest. This is alleged, right? But yesterday I was scrolling through X. I'll look for that tweet, and somebody said that PPK is affiliated na Moses Kuria.
Moses Kuria ana vyama ngapi? Yeah. It's a party that has been there for over 3 decades.
Yeah, so is that true? Well, we don't know. Why interns have better chance for 20,000 TSC jobs? Teachers hired as interns and those who graduated many years ago will score higher marks in Teacher Service Commission's interviews for 20,000 permanent and pensionable positions. That is a story on page 8. Applicants who have served as interns for at least 12 months in the same sub-county will automatically be awarded 70 marks. That's the Daily Nation.
And there's a very interesting story on page 6 about the goons or those suspected to have been involved in the violence. So police had earlier issued a statement saying they are looking for a person called Oliver Jaoko Elias Olivetti, who is currently at large. So this person is associated with Babu Owino. So Babu Owino and James Orengo accompanied this man to DCI headquarters of police. Kufika huko wakasema, no, but we're not looking for you. No, please, no, we're not looking for you. So why exactly did they issue a statement saying that this person was being sought after? Yeah, DCI rejects man sought over Homa Bay violence. DCI wamesema hawana hiyo shughuli. Yeah. All right. From your Daily Nation, let's go to the Star today. Gachagua pushes for early Wiper DCP deal ahead of unity talks. That's a story on page 4 and 5. Move could leave Sifuna scrambling for the number 2 slot. So it's about the opposition formation and whether it will open up new front lines. The announcement is likely to send shockwaves among opposition principals as the two outfits settle on a presidential candidate. But we're getting confused. One, Wiper Party, Kalonzo is still Azimio leader. Of which left out DCP and other parties they are yet to join. Now DCP is talking with Wiper directly to form a coalition. Meaning there'll be a lot of confusion. Regarding pushes for an early DCP Wiper deal, Gachagua allies open new war with Ndindi Nyoro over Ruto links. That's another story. Remember kuna wakati ilisemekana Kalonzo amesema I am Rigathi pick for presidency. Kaleta noma sana. Other stories, Ruto opens health summit themed reform delivered. Kupale KICC. Homa Bay Town MP Peter Kaluma is saying that he needs innocent people left out of Homa Bay chaos. ODM has called on the police to thoroughly investigate the chaos witnessed in Homa Bay before assigning blame, warning against dragging innocent people into the unrest. Innocent people ni nani? Peter Kaluma, the innocent. Peter Kaluma, the innocent.
Now jamaa.
Pale Juu, from classrooms to rehab, school children caught in cannabis and alcohol crisis is a story on page 6. This is a Star. Grab yourself a copy of this one for 60 shillings. Fresh, independent, different.
All right. People Daily, why state's heavy hand is backfiring on Linda Mwananchi. The story is on page 4. Let's see what they're saying about it. That the political calculus in Kenya is shifting rapidly, with the state's monopoly on raw political power facing a severe test. This is after Linda Mwananchi movement emerged as an aggressive youth-backed political powerhouse, systemically keeping President William Ruto's administration awake at night. So what began as an internal rift within ODM following the death of Raila Odinga has evolved into a formidable nationwide crusade, a movement that is threatening the status quo. So what they're saying is that Linda Mwananchi They're facing the police, they're facing intimidation, arrests, raids, abductions, threats. Yes, why state's heavy hand is backfiring on Linda Mwananchi. At the center of this is Edwin Sifuna, the Nairobi senator. Other quick headlines here on the front page. Obado seeks leniency, reconciliation in Sharon Otieno murder case. It's a story on page 2. Kule Juu, glossy dreams, grim realities, why Kenya's manifestos are built to be broken. That is a story on page 5. And pig farmers on high alert as African swine fever spreads to 7 counties. Very quickly, Business Daily, NSE farms start paying juicy 75 billion shillings dividends. Top companies to begin paying shareholders from August 30 and 45% of payouts to be repatriated by multinationals. Global firms block Kenya cash transfer on dirty money fears. That's another story on page 14. And that's the Business Daily.
All right, from the Business Daily, let's cross over to our neighboring countries. We'll start off in Uganda today. We only have the Daily Monitor. On the Daily Monitor, the key changes in primary curriculum is a big story on the front page. The proposed changes include reducing lower primary subjects from 8 to 4. Wow, that would be nice. Yeah. Increasing examinable primary leaving examination subjects to 6. Introducing Kiswahili. Yes, they need Kiswahili, our ndugu zetu
Uganda.
Introducing Kiswahili language as well as a plan to replace traditional aggregate scores with letter grades at assessment. That's true on pages 4 and 5. And they have a picture there of mourners eulogizing Alex Mukulu, who was a playwright. And the body of playwright Alex Mukulu is wheeled into the National Theatre in Kampala City yesterday. Hundreds of people, including members of the entertainment industry, thronged the National Theatre to pay their last respects to the dramatist. That's as far as news in Uganda is concerned. Let's move on to Tanzania. We start off with The Citizen, which is usually business-oriented, and they talk about cement crisis deepening as government orders price cuts. The government has given cement manufacturers 8 days to cut prices and restore supplies after shortages pushed the price of a 50-kilogram bag to 26,000. Don't you worry, 26,000 shillings Tanzanian money in some outlets. In Kenya, 1 bag of cement is how much? Imefika 1,000. 850 around there. Yeah, so huko Tanzania imefika 26,000 shillings. Ukitaka kujenga nyumba lazima ukuwe na bilioni kadhaa.
I'm sure that's small money.
Tanzania and DRC step up drive for a 794 billion shilling trade. And AI and changing habits transform online media. Yes. Let's move on to gazeti la Mwananchi. Serikali yatoa siku 8 bei saruji ishuke. Ulikuwa unajua simiti, wewe unaita simiti. Inaitwa saruji. Usizoe kuita simiti, ni saruji. Mamnukuu Balozi Rajab Salum akisema tumekutana na wazalishaji wa saruji Agosti 18 na kuwapa siku 8 kuhakikisha bei zinashuka na upatikanaji wa bidhaa unaimarika. Bei ya saruji. Kuna picha pale ya Rais Samia na mgeni wake Tshisekedi yule wa DR Congo. Sasa wameibua fursa mpya ya biashara kati ya nchi hizo mbili. Tahadhari mvua ya El Nino na SGR yatajwa. Anasema El Nino ile ambayo tumezungumzia hapa Kenya inaweza athiri safari za SGR kule Tanzania. Na kwingine kwa upinzani na ujenzi wa kizazi kipya cha ushawishi wale Gen Z. Na wimbi magonjwa ya upumuaji la tesa watoto, inaitwa respiratory diseases, zinatesa watoto kule Tanzania. Haya ndo magazeti ya humo nchini na kwenye kanda ya Afrika Mashariki. Big discussions across the region. Let's now come back and you can see the only single story that you can say cuts across is El Nino. So that's something that needs to be looked into. Yeah. Hata hapa Kenya, we need to focus more on El Nino. After all, the elections are going to come in 357 days. Even Christmas, 356. Even Christmas is 128 days away. And El Nino is coming in between. So by Christmas we'll have been done with El Nino probably. But the aftermath, wamesema this will be worse than what happened in 1997. Ulikuwa 1997? Actually, 1997 is when the first Gen Z was born.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that answers the question.
Gen Z hawajui El Nino ni nini. Wa kwanza alizaliwa hiyo mwaka, Kuna one of our cameramen Ian alizaliwa 2012. Hata ajui El Nino ni nini, anasikia anashangaa. Ngoja.
Umeniuliza umejijibu sasa.
Sijajijibu bado.
Nataka ujijibu.
You want me to reveal your age on air?
Tell them.
I shall not. I know the consequences of that. All right. Let's come back and take a look at the cartoons. Tuone wanazungumzia nini leo. Start off with a cartoon on the Daily Nation. And it talks about huyo jamaa ambaye aliingia People's Party of Kenya. Alikuwa ameita press conference. Watu wakakimbia mbio sana. So the cartoon talks about that. Alisema exclusive, explosive, tell it all press conference. Alafu walipofika akasema it's the economy, stupid. It's just the economy, hakuna kitu kingine. Lakini it was going to be explosive and exclusive. Ni kama huyu cartoonist amesema whatever that presser was inaitwaje? Was a disappointment. Yeah, it wasn't all that. That's the Daily Nation.
The Star still has Ndidi Nyoro on it. Akitoka pale kwa President William Ruto, with the caricature of President William Ruto, of course, is here, and a caricature of the former Deputy President, DCP party leader. Anapatiwa hapa nguo ya DCP avae na ni kama anakataa hiyo nguo. Amesema
hataki, ako na zake.
Ako na nguo zake. Sasa ametoka kule kwa UDA, ameenda kwingine, anakaribishwa huku DCP. Hataki hiyo yenu.
Amekataa.
The Star.
People Daily. Wanazidi kuzungumzia watu wenye sura tinginya na misuli tinginya pia. So the caricature of this goon, vile amekuwa caricature hapa by the way. And then a caricature of the CS for Interior whipping the goons using a feather. Anasema behave like it hurts. Na nampiga na manyoya. Manyoya wewe.
All right, the one on this standard, finally, this is Harry. Harry has caricatured Kenya here as a national park where goons, killer cops, greedy politicians, corrupt system. Sounds like the Kenya scavenger would want. We want to vie in 2027 too. So this is a country where everyone thrives. Hata kama wewe ni goon, if you want to vie, according to Harry, you can vie. If you are corrupt, you can vie.
Vultures and hyenas.
And scavengers. If you are a killer cop, you can vie. That's the standard.
Sad state of affairs. This should not be the case. But that is how the cartoonists view what we are talking about, the big stories, of course, goonism and other issues around our politics. 356 days to the next election. Before we take a break for State of the Nation, let's take a look at the traffic situation in the city. I can see there's a stretch of red on Kiambu Road immediately after the DCI headquarters. This is unusual. There must be an incident there before you get to Wamboi Road, that Muthaiga dip before you get to Pangani interchange, meaning that a lot of vehicles from Kiambu Road are being held back by that. And so if you look at the Pangani interchange at this time of day, it is a bit easy because even watu wa Thika Road ni kama hawajafika pale. And Thika Road I do not understand because there's no traffic all the way from Ruiru. Past KU, past Githurai, past Kasarani, past Allsops. Ni kama kuna traffic leo. Yote, no traffic. Even at KCA University, very little traffic. And once you get to the Utali Drift, just slow-moving traffic. A bit of red pale Pangani interchange, meaning Thika Road, Kiambu Road, leo, it's a bit easy once you get to the Pangani interchange. Jogoo Road, building up kama kawaida pale Makadara, that stretch na pale City Stadium roundabout. A bit of traffic at Machakos bus station, Mudhurwa heading towards town. A lot of traffic once you get into town, Haile Selassie Avenue. I think this is usually the biggest or the main entry into town for people coming from the eastern part of the city. So both sides of the road, naambiwa tuna watu wa mkokoteni ndio wakikuwa Marikiti ndio wanafunga barabara. Ni ukweli hapo? Lakini I know Marikiti is usually very busy at this time of day. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the Eastern Bypass, which of late we've realized is usually very problematic. And true to it, there's a lot of traffic on in Utawala, a bit more once you get closer to the KQ headquarters roundabout. And after that, there's a long stretch of red heading towards Cabanas past that interchange with Outer Ring Road. Pale ni kama watu watakaa sana. There could be an incident, but Eastern Bypass I think is the heaviest in as far as traffic is concerned this morning. Mombasa Road not looking bad. On the other side of town, Southern Bypass, Langata Road, Ngong Road, Wayakiwe, all looking green. So that's the traffic situation this morning in Nairobi. All right, once again, a reminder that later on the show we'll be having this discussion when childhood hurts, healing childhood trauma. Annie Odida will be having Richard Ziwa Zimbalist, Cindy Otieno, and Eddie Otunga. Before that, just after the break we're about to take, we'll be having Fanya Mambo Kinothia, MP aspirant Dagoretti South, Haji Omar, MP aspirant Langata, and Advice Mundalo, leadership and communications expert for State of the Nation, Matters Gunism, and that new party by Ndindi Nyoro, People's Party of Kenya. What does it mean for politics moving forward?
To interact with us on our socials, it's TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube on X, TV47 Digital. Interact with us as well on our personal handles at Annie_Dida.
Mine is at Fred Ndimuli.
Use the hashtag TV47 Breakfast, hashtag Soinietu, and catch us live on Vibe 47 on Play Store and on App Store. See you after the break.
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, it's such an amazing evening. And can you feel the fire right in your house? Right on Dr. Foreke tonight.
You know, when you choke, you have choken. Done.
Are you a cheater?
Dr. Foreke acha kushika kundi.
Why would you bring somebody on this show who does not recognize my title? You are the guy.
Thank you, sir.
When are you vying for presidency? So to all the ladies who are trying to have a crush on DJ Ian and I'm sorry we are taken and not for granted.
You are funny.
Thursday, we have a date every single day. Remember hii ni TV47 mtu wangu, na story ni yako, story ni yangu, story ni yetu. To all the ladies, mwah. To all the men, you can sort yourselves out. Yeah!
No more excuses. It's time to rise, grind, and own your mornings. Join Coach Shadrach Omer from 5:30 to 6 p.m.
Ready? Go! No way!
Oh, no. That's the way you're feeling, I guess.
No, not that. Look!
Stand back. I'll get you out of there. Power of red! Fire blast! Ooh, big word. You are smart.
Now you're getting it.
Trust me! Guess we're here.
Vault the Wonder Deer. Fridays, 3:30 p.m. on TV47. Sundays at 8:30 p.m.
Good morning.
You have my rent?
Leo jioni kama tutakuwa tumelipa rent, nauza hii simu yako.
Hamna pesa. I need 3 G's to make my nails today.
Sasa hivi natuhusu aje?
Can I order now? Do you ship? Can I get blinking ones?
Mimi nilikuwa na trade. Nimeekelea kitele yangu. Kitele yangu na trade. Ikikunywa maji.
Oh my God. He left me. Nitumie ni line.
Uko nje kuna wifi.
Why? Hi-fi?
Wait, so what do we call this dish again?
I have no idea.
The cucumbers are there specifically for my beauty routine.
Tamulini kero umeka kwa beauty product.
Na ameenda.
Tunafaa tukuwe na logo yetu. Like, si ni brand already.
We won't entertain divas.
No. I'm not dealing with a man child.
Amazing. Nishapenda hii energy.
Sundays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
My father used to tell me that our hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time, and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environs.
Saturday at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m.
This is a very serious place.
I see that.
Surely. Hey, Nyumba.
This is the place.
Just for a few days.
Rule number 2.
Kwani Google inajua maisha yangu wewe?
That's my seat.
It's a chair.
It was hers.
You're new here?
Yes.
You learned the rhythm.
This place is run by structure. Structure.
It is a system, ni venye tu ni system haisikizi.
And what happens if something you haven't chosen enters your day?
I remove it.
That's not always going to be possible here.
Then you are going to have a problem.
Noted.
What are you planning?
To escape from a resort.
This is not a resort, my friend. This is a storage.
Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47.
My father used to tell me that our hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition.
Peter Kaluma, summoned by NCIC over remarks and events surrounding the political rallies, is now asking the commission to postpone his appearance, citing unavoidable state duties.
In the political space, we say we'll deal with you. As Honorable Gogo has just mentioned with Orengo here, as politicians, we deal with you politically.
As Kaluma seeks more time, his political rivals are taking their concerns to the Directorate of Criminal Investigations.
Honorable Governor James Orengo, Babu Owino, recruited very dangerous criminals.
Sisi ndo tulivamiwa na magoons, alafu watu wetu ndo tena wanashikwa, wale magoons hakuna hata mtu yeyote mwenye anashikwa.
Embakasi East MP Babu Owino and Siaya Governor James Orengo accompanied Oliver Jaoko to the DCI after police named him a person of interest in investigations into the Homa Bay violence.
And is the killer who works mostly with Olivati. Whenever you see Olivati, with Orengo and Babu Owino.
We are looking for Oliver because Oliver is our friend.
Those are our personal security officers.
Orengo says Jaoko is a law-abiding citizen and a patriot and accuses authorities of what he calls a crackdown targeting their supporters, a claim authorities have not publicly responded to.
It's no longer about Murkomen and those characters. It's about Ruto because he's the one who has made these things happen.
With Kaluma seeking to defer his appearance before the Cohesion Commission, Jaoko reporting to police in Kisumu, and rivaled political arms trading accusations, attention now shifts to what investigators will establish over the Homa Bay violence. The NCSC is yet to announce a new date for Kaluma's appearance, while investigations into the Homa Bay clashes continue. Faith Wangare, TV47.
Yes, indeed. A story that refuses to leave the headlines is the events that took place this past weekend in Homa Bay when Linda Mwananchi movement held a rally there. The violence that was witnessed, goonism, police inaction, those are the discussion lines. On the front page of the Standard, they talk about untouchable goons. Inside the pages of the Daily Nation, they talk about DCI rejecting a man sought over Homa Bay violence. And that's a gentleman you've just seen on your screen who was accompanied by the Siaya Governor, James Orengo, to DCI. He was turned away by the DCI. They said they don't know anything about the matter. Yet, the National Police Service had already issued a statement saying that this person is being sought by police. I'm not even certain which question to ask at this point. So allow me to introduce my panelists. Probably they help me with this. On my immediate right, Haji Omar, MP aspirant, Langata constituency, is a member of the Linda Mwananchi movement, and he was present in Homa Bay on Sunday. Karibu sana.
Asante sana, Fred.
Fanyamambo Kinodhia, a lawyer and MP aspirant for Dagoretti South constituency, also joins us this morning. Karibu sana.
Thank you and a very good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
So, from what is happening right now, I think now it's been reduced to a blame game. Yes, about the goons, who owns them, who wants to arrest them, who doesn't want to arrest them, are we going to arrest them, if at all. NCIC, on the other hand, has come under fierce criticism. They're issuing summons to so many different people who are just saying, nitakuja siku ile nitapata nafasi. But in as far as the goons are concerned, this confusion coming from the security agencies on whether or not to arrest them, what does it communicate to you? James Orengo and Babu Wino accompanied Oliver, who had been summoned by police. Yet the DCI said, no, we are not aware of the matter.
To be honest, Fred, good morning to everyone, first of all. It's a very troubling question. This is something that we are also trying to push for as Linda Mwananchi, where we're trying to fight for accountability. This is something we preempted. This is something we sent evidence to the authorities before, prior to to tell them that our rally is actually being planned to be attacked. And we even sent evidence, all these things. Some people were arrested, they were released, prior to the event. So to be honest, these are things that, even when I was going to Homa Bay, I could figure that, this was going to be a hostile event because of, obviously, the remarks also that were being made by the leaders prior to the event. That was very disturbing. And of course, we had to be mentally prepared as well that, we will face such kind of things. We tried our best to make sure that we are aware of the intel. We have people ahead to make sure that everything's okay. So to be honest, we felt like everything was under control till things turned really bad, Fred. Things turned really bad, and you can tell this was a properly well planned event, because even as you see in the video clips where the highway was blocked out with stones that were brought with the tipper, trees that were cut down and barricaded the road, and the goons were standing right next to the police, and the police were doing nothing to clear them off before even we reached. If the police had intel that and they were standing next to the goons, why not clear them out? Because you're expecting another group coming into Homa Bay, why stand with them like you're all waiting for a showdown? And so to be honest, it was a very horrendous moment. Everybody was panicking, the women, everybody was in shock, because there's a big group of people barricaded the roads with pangas that have been grinded, well armed, some of them even had guns, and immediately the first thing we reached, they were lobbing tear gas at us. The goons were lobbing tear gas at us, which is very scary also. How did they get access to the tear gas, and initially they weren't, using any, shooting or anything, but towards a later stage it reached a point like that. So to be honest, as our security were busy trying to clear the road so that we can get access and, escape, because we had passed them, they cleared out, we passed them. Now they were attacking us from behind, and security was busy clearing the road so that the cars can pass. And the people at the back, Fred, it was really bad. These people came with pangas and slashed people like crazy. They were hitting the cars, breaking the windows, dragging people out of the car, mercilessly beating them up. They were catching the security, they were trying to do it, and if any security was caught, their teeth would go, everything basically. It was really bad, really bad. What I witnessed firsthand was really scary. But nothing stopped us. We actually managed to reach Homa Bay. Sadly, after 6 cars being touched, because every car they catch, wanaiba, wanachoma. And they catch another one, wanaiba, wanapiga watu, wanachoma. So to be honest, this is not something that we should entertain. I believe like a couple of weeks ago we spoke about this political intolerance issue, and we said that we should put a stop towards goonism, because goonism, there was a cartoon showing that anybody who puts a coin, right? Anybody who puts a coin can hire a goon.
Yes.
You know, if they can hire goons, we can also hire goons, and it will not be good, because at the end of the day, you know, what I witnessed is people, you know, I mean, the Homa Bay people were being slaughtered, and
you say police were there watching.
Police were watching, and Babu Wino was telling them, police, surely, are you looking at us? And we're being butchered right now, and you're not doing anything about it. You know, even as we entered Homa Bay, I was telling the police, these guys are attacking us, like, try and help us. Because now, you know, by the time we reached Homa Bay, there were like 30, 40 people only, like, following us. You know, they were reduced.
Mm-hmm.
And when they reached there, you know, the police were busy, you know, smiling at us, you know, like trying to communicate that orders are from above, we cannot do anything. You understand? Like, literally, I'm telling the police, a woman, telling her, please, like, they were all standing. Like, at least now the group was bigger. They could have handled those 30 fellows and chased them away.
They did not.
They did not.
And that's a big question.
And they were beaten up.
Yes. That's a question now we're asking, because 4 people died, including a police officer. A number of others were injured. We have reports that at least one of those injured lost his leg and had to be amputated. But it's the action or inaction by police that's baffling, both during the event, during the rally on the peaceful day, and even now, that very few people have been arrested. The papers are now even posting pictures of some of the suspects who still are roaming free. The politician who's accused of uttering insightful statements still walking free. Even the police service itself issuing a statement saying we are after this person, then the person shows up and they're not even arrested. It looks like our police service has gotten to a point of lethargy that, in as far as Goonism is concerned, their hands are off. They don't even know what to do with the goons.
Thank you. I think, allow me to start from a personal point, and I want to address one Peter Opondo Kaluma. Kaluma, you and I one time sat at a TV station, KTN, in 2023. And on one night, there was you, there was me, there was Kajiji Kagombe. And on that night, it was during the demonstrations of 2023. And you, Opondo Kaluma, had just come from a mortuary in Kisumu, where you had viewed 11 young men who had been butchered by this government and killed. They were being removed from their houses in Kisumu, Kaluma, you remember. They were being killed, and you had gone to see them in mortuaries. When we sat on that show that night with you and Gigi Kagombe, I remember remarks were made on that station by Kagombe that you people were hiring bodies and parading them at the city mortuary. It hurt you so much, Kaluma. You walked out of a live TV interview. And when you walked out, you shed tears because you had just come from seeing 11 young men killed, tortured, butchered by the administration, and they were in mortuaries. The Kaluma who would shed tears because young people have been killed by police in Kisumu is the Kaluma who is saying things that are so divisive, that are so bad for a nation, that I can't even believe that the Kaluma I see on TV today is the Kaluma I sat on a show with, and he walked out on a show because he was told they were hiring bodies. Because indeed, they were not hiring bodies. And we were there, and we were fighting for those people. We were together in Azimio. Just 2023. Fast forward 2026. Kaluma is saying, wale wataingia Homa Bay, very divisive remarks, very bad things. You know, threatening people and saying that wataona cha. And you know, piteni na wao. And here is that Kaluma. So for me, that is the starting point. How a person would move from a defender of the rights of the young people who are being killed to a perpetrator of the heinous acts that are happening is really sad for me. It's a very dark day for me. But before the Linda Mwananchi Brigade was attacked in Homa Bay, which is very regrettable, we, the DCP team, were also attacked in Nakuru. There was a lot of violence visited upon our people. Vehicles destroyed, people beaten up. We thank God on this particular instance we didn't lose a life. But we've lost so many lives as DCP in the wake of our campaigns. Which goes to answer your question. Kwani hawa goons hawajui rallies za tutam mahali ziko? For some reason, they tend to lose their geomaps when it comes to attacking rallies that are pro-government. We've never seen them attack a Farouk Kibet rally. We've never seen them attack an Oscar Sudi event. We've never seen them attack a DP Kindiki event. We've never seen them attack any event that is two-term. If Akina Gladys Wanga hold their Linda ground thing, which they usually have to mobilize, those ones are never attacked. Somehow, conveniently, these goons only know to attack meetings that are pro-one term. That's why we are saying, Your Excellency William Ruto, there was a time when young people told you the finance bill is bad. They told you over and over and over and over again, but you insisted. And you went and you sent parliamentarians to pass it. You know what happened. You ended up dissolving your whole parliament, your whole cabinet. Right now, Kenyans are telling you, Kipchumba Murkomen has failed. Kenyans are telling you, remove this guy as CS for Interior. You are ignoring Kenyans. William Ruto, please stop ignoring Kenyans. When you see the Daily Nation, that on the front page we are saying an ex-GSU boss is being robbed by goons. It tells you these goons, wamefika mahali sasa mpaka, they can rob a GSU boss. What makes you think they won't start robbing you as the president and the deputy president? It's just a matter of time before they get to the level where they have the confidence to rob from cabinet secretaries. Tame these people early. Tame this culture early. Stop this madness early. And I'm telling you, Your Excellency, the President, if you don't rein in on Kipchumba Murkomen, if you don't rein in on these goons, if you don't stop this now, this thing is going to bite you as a head of state. Remember, the world is watching us. Tourists are watching us. The whole world is watching us. Who wants to send their people to this country right now? They are saying, if the New Daily newspaper is saying that a GSU boss can be robbed by goons, who is a tourist? So we are asking the Republic of Kenya, the people in charge of our state, and that is the head of state himself, stop burying your head in the sand. Unakuja unaanza kuaddress mambo ya shaa huko, ukiita watu mafala, and you are forgetting that people are being butchered left, right, and center. 5 lives lost, cars burnt, destruction of property is sad. But finally, Gladys Wanga. Today is Wednesday. These killings happened in your county on Sunday. You are yet to speak. You are the governor. Show us a press conference where she has addressed herself to this issue, where she has condemned this madness. She hasn't. But where does it hurt her more? These goons who were blocking the roads that they were using, walikuja kwa kibanda ya mama ambaye anauza samaki hapo Homa Bay. Wakaibomoa, wakaitumia kufunga barabara. Wakabomoa shoeshine business, wakabomoa the businesses of the people of Homa Bay and put them on tarmac. Those were some of the things that they were using as roadblocks. So they destroyed livelihoods of the people of Homa Bay who have been paying some monies to your county, you Gladys Wanga, as fees, as county tolls and whatever.
Okay.
And you, Wanga, has not said anything about it. The economy of your own county is being sabotaged by goons, and the governor in charge of Homa Bay has kept quiet.
Okay.
It's an incredibly sad day for our people.
No one has spoken about it. Even the security agencies are quiet about it. The CS for Interior, the PS for Interior, who had actually assured you of safety for that during that event, none of them has said anything up until now, 3 days later. What does that say? They were very fast to assure you of your safety.
Let me tell you, these are the same people who are actually behind this issue. Because, as I told you, Fred, while these businesses were being uprooted, the police were watching. This thing was not done prior for us entering Homa Bay. It was being done during the course of the day, from the afternoon onwards. So nothing was done to stop these people from misbehaving. And if you look at this guy on the front headline, this same guy has shot a video proudly showing that, hakuna mtu wa one time atakanyaga Homa Bay. So if we do that as well in our strongholds, it will not be fair. It will just be a mess.
And that's a risk I'm foreseeing now.
Because I don't see how Kaluma can go to another county to do anything. I don't see how Gladys Wanga can go to another county to do anything. Because if we are not welcome to their home, then they're not welcome to our homes.
Because when you first gave your submission about this, you talked about you having your own security.
Yeah.
And my question is, couldn't that be counterproductive as well? That because of the anticipated violence, that of course you knew there would be violence,
No, I mean,
that now people would be, in anticipation of that, arming themselves or going with their own teams for protection. Don't you think that that could end up being...
I mean, that's what's going to happen next, and that's exactly what we're saying. We are making the goons stronger. Our country will become like Haiti, because at the end of the day, if the goons have too much relevance, they will be too powerful. You know, what I saw, Fred, with my eyes, these people had firearms. They were shooting at us. You understand? How can a goon have access to firearms and tear gas and attacking us? And for us to have security, it is okay to have security, because this is something we could see happening. And to be honest, something that I wish we had more security, because our security were busy clearing the road and we were being attacked. You understand? And nobody, to be honest, the same people who made the remarks before the event are the same people making fake statements even now. For instance, the guy is saying that on the 16th, he's saying he's accusing one of our members of Lina Mwananchi being one of the organizers of, you know, the goons, and you know, the same guy was with us. He was in the same car with me. We were going towards Homo Bay, and he said that, you know, the guy spoke in Sindo. Brian Weke, he spoke in Sindo, and they're saying that he did not show up on 16th. That's a fake statement, and we even have record evidence that he was in Sindo. You understand? So there's a lot of fake statements trying to clear up the name, because what they did was already. And for example, Fred, the night before, they went even to the hotels, ransacked the hotels. Some of our members, their cars were damaged on the first night before even the rally. Any Prado, they know this is a car that has come for campaign. They stop it, they attack it. You know? So if these things were done hours before this major unfortunate event, what could have been done? What should have been done to make sure that this was, avoided? Because you could know that we've already hit hotels. People are already, bringing in stones and everything. You know, the police are seeing how businesses are being uprooted and used as barricades. They should definitely do something about it, instead of standing side by side and nothing's happening.
And you note a trend now emerging, the fact that many people, especially within the opposition, feel that the other side are using goons to attack their rallies, and the discussion is heading towards probably self-defense.
You have to.
Yes. And what would be the net effect of that if everyone was to arm themselves in the name of self-defense, which is provided for by law? As a lawyer, self-defense is accepted.
Yes.
What would be the net effect if every politician, even within your constituency, just because they have rivals and they know that they could be attacked by their opponents, they now decide to come with their own militia? What would that mean?
Let me tell you what
2027. Just hold that thought. We take a break, we come back with that discussion. You're watching TV47 Breakfast.
But not for lack of trying. So for the last time,
Yami na flow kama maji juu ni tamu kama sali. Ni juu si. Ayubo kuna vitu zinakuudhi, usijali my bro, hebu kama taka juicy juu.
Every Sunday afternoon, it's the ultimate omnibus. All your favorite shows back to back, all in one place. From the mouths of But
baby, don't argue about Mwangizi Kanda.
to the conversations on Vita Stream.
Mama alikuwa anajua nikosha kuna rehearsal proper. Rehearsal.
Begging on the internet.
Premium,
Nurturing the world, one bite at a time.
Oh my God.
Kakamega
Kakamega, Sigalagala na Shinyalu muko tayari? Jumamosi hii tarehe 22 Agosti, msafara kabambe wa NSSF haba unazuru kwenu. Kutana live na Freda Rocho, MC Jaffe, ma-DJ na wataalamu wa NSSF haba. Njoo ujue jinsi ya kukuza pesa zako kwa kuweka akiba kuanzia shilingi 25 pekee kupitia *254#. Burudani, michezo na zawadi kibao zinakungoja. Usikose. NSSF, growing you for good.
Bedsitter and a dream.
Urgently. Prepare to have your minds blown. You guys even look at the updates I give about the road.
Eugene. Ndio. Come in peace. Tuhejieni. Ndio tamu tukule tamu. Yani hapa tu. Kawaida. Inakaa kama reminder. Habari yako.
Please don't work like that.
Visionaries are quite misunderstood. I mean, look at us.
You're dramatic.
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, it's such an amazing evening. And can you feel the fire right in your house, right on Dr. Freck's night?
You know, when you talk about dance,
are you a cheater?
On
TV47. Why would you be somebody on this show that...
All right, welcome back. You're watching TV47 Breakfast with me, Fred Indimuli. I'm in studio with Haji Omar. He's an MP aspirant Langata, Fanyamambo Kinodhia, MP aspirant Dagoretti South, and now joining the panel, Advice Mundalo, leadership and communications expert. Karibu sana, Advice.
Asante.
I found us examining now this very tragic, sad events that took place in Homa Bay, and we're wondering, okay, what happens next? What is the solution? Or how do we move on from here? There's a lot of police in action. The security agencies don't appear to act on all this. So we are left to throw a blame. It's now a blame game. Okay, who is in charge? Who did this? Whose goons were they? But the trend is growing. A trend has emerged that goons are now here with us and police will do nothing about it. On page 7 of the Daily Nation, they talk about Linda Mwananchi, how we intend to deal with goons and intimidation. They've listed some ideas here that, well, they're saying they're going to intensify court action, pressure on security agencies, civil disobedience, and pushing for greater mobilization of civil society and the media. But there's one that they're not talking about. That silently, political opponents across the country are feeling the need or necessity to have a group around them for their own personal protection. And we are wondering what would be the net effect of each aspirant or candidate doing that across the country.
Thank you very much, Fred, and my apologies for coming in a bit late. First of all, what happened in Homa Bay is extremely distasteful and is the kind of politics that we should never degenerate to. It's even more bizarre that the people who are most affected in Homa Bay were actually young people, both from the ones who were from the goon side, even the ones who lost their lives and the ones who got injured and the ones who got arrested were actually young people. And the ones now from even the political side, yeah, most of the politicians who are healthy enough to give press conferences are the older folks. The ones that are being talked about, the ones who their lives were at the extreme age of danger, were actually young people. I saw, I've seen and talked to some of them who are there, and I agree that when you listen to their experiences, they are quite horrific. But one thing we cannot be able to do is let these conversations be taken away by politicians, because politicians will always have a conversation in a manner that favors their politics. When politicians tell you about a problem, they must come out as the ones who are the victims. And that's why I've kept saying that we cannot leave such security matters to politicians. Because when Linda Mwananchi or DCP or opposition talks about this case, government must look bad. And the ones on the other side as well, when they also respond, the other side must look bad. So they will simply be playing political cards and political expediency. But two people, in my view, are supposed to really hold the cornerstone of this conversation. And the first person is we, the Kenyan people. Because when politicians have to mobilize people, they are not mobilizing Rwandese or Americans or Ugandans. They are mobilizing us, the Kenyan people. So when we first of all test ourselves that will not go this direction of politics, first of all, there will be nobody for the politicians to mobilize from either side. So we, the Kenyan people, must come out and want to do politics differently. Because those people in Homa Bay who are hurling stones against each other, there is more likelihood that maybe even all of them are just from the same place, or even just from, they're just neighbors, the same that was happening in Olkalau. So for me, first of all, it's about the people, that we must be able to refuse this, and we must refuse to be whipped by politicians, because politicians will only whip emotions.
Allow me to ask you this, because you've said that politicians make each other look bad, and opposition politicians will always want to make the government side look bad.
Yeah.
But in this instance, did you expect any action from the security agency?
And that's actually where I was going, Fred. Yes. As I said, two people. I say, one, the people ourselves. We must be able to raise the bar of our politics. And the second person that we must never let go off the hook when we are coming to issues of security is the security apparatus. Because they are the ones with the mandate of the people and the finance of the taxpayer to actually take care of the security infrastructure. And one of the things they cannot be able to come and tell us is excuses such as they said, the opposition people said the police should not be seen there. Because politicians have said, we'll always tell you the political things. That's why a few days to the rally, they will tell you we are aware of what is happening and we are warning the police not to come. That's what they will say. They said it here in Kikuyu during a DCP rally. Linda Wananchi said it when they were going to Homa Bay. But that cannot be an excuse. At the end of the day, you have a cardinal responsibility as security agencies to protect the Kenyan people. And as it stands now, for me, it should not be large about how politicians are throwing jibes of blame from each other and at each other. It should be more about what is the security agency giving us a stock of what happened. They should be the ones telling us how many people have been arrested, why they have been arrested, and how we are going forward. Otherwise, when you reduce it into political banter, we'll again have this conversation next week, and the same conversation the following week, and the other conversation the following week. So for me, it is about, can they be able to be held to account? Can they be able to tell us exactly, with the instruments that they have, what exactly did they in fact do before this happened? Because they have intelligence.
Does it disturb you that 2-3 days later, the CS in charge of Interior is yet to say anything?
It does.
The PS in charge of Interior, who had assured these people of safety, is yet to speak about this.
It does. And not
the
just
IG of police has remained silent.
And that is true. And I like the addition of the IG, because remember, we have kept trying to ensure that our constitution is upheld. And the IG has, we have kept calling it an independent institution. He has a mandate. So these people who are in charge of security, none of them stands to be excused. They must be able to, that's why I tell you, Fred, we can't let the country be governed by political theatrics and politicians throwing jibes at each other when you have institutions that we have mandated to take care of these. So the institutions must actually give Kenyans answers. But if we leave it to politicians, it will be politician A versus politician B. That's why you've always seen it even in cases of hate speech, for instance. When hate speech is on our side, it was misunderstood. If it's on the other side, it is dangerous for country. And that is the political banter that exists in this country. So institutions must act, because we gave them a mandate to act.
Okay. Talking about institutions, one of them is the NCIC. It has already issued summons to one Peter Kaluma, the MP of Homa Bay Town. It has also issued summons to other different politicians, and many of them have said they're not going to show up. It is part of the stories covered here at TV47. Let's have it.
Allegations that some politicians are making remarks that could fuel hostility and hatred among Kenyans have placed the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, NCIC, under immense pressure to protect peace and national unity. Concerns have also grown following reports of people raising questions about security and stability as the country approaches the 2027 elections.
What has happened in Kenya? Everybody is looking at NCIC. And we are forgetting, we also have the National Police Service. Then we have the DCI.
NCIC has faced challenges in holding accountable those accused of violating laws relating to hate speech and incitement.
The Kenyans want to see people in court. Like now, I know Kenyans are waiting to see Honorable Kaluma taken to court. But is that the work of NCIC? No. Our work is to investigate, recommend, send the file to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions.
Politicians under NCIC radar include former Rigathi Gachagua, CS Aden Duale, Busia Governor Paul Otuoma, Deputy Governor Mandera Ali Mali Mohammed, MPs John Waluke of Sirisia, Wanjiku Muhia of Kipiriri, and Nakuru Town East David Gikaria and Dennis Edson. However, questions remain about why some politicians accused of making incendiary remarks continue to remain free. Does the commission really have the power to act?
We work with other agencies. It's an ecosystem of collaboration. And that is why Kenyans, I can say for sure and for free, feel frustrated. Because they want to see somebody arrested, right, taken to court, jailed, or fined.
NCIC was established in 2008 following the post-election violence with a mandate to promote peace, combating discrimination, and strengthen reconciliation across the country. With 2027 approaching, Kenyans expect relevant institutions to fulfill their mandates effectively in order to protect peace, justice, and national unity before, during, and after the election.
Many questions about the utility or usefulness of such a commission. There's a lot of blame game.
Yeah.
Yes. Because everyone sees that this is someone else's job. Yeah. Even
who's in charge of the
CS Murkomen, PS Raymond Omolo. So where does the buck stops? Everyone sees that no, it is not my duty. This one will just watch from the side.
Let me tell you, Fred, as my colleague mentioned, he just mentioned that, you know, security should never be handled by politicians, and I agree, and that's why we're all saying that Kipchumba Murkomen must step down from that position, because he's a politician and he's managing a big docket under security. So we all agree on the same thing, that politics should never come into security, because the same people who are supposed to protect us are being misused to actually fail us intentionally. He's talking about blame game in terms of, you know, using this as political theatrics. We have visited several parts of the country. We have not faced any challenges. Even when we visited Homa Bay, all the way people were chanting and supporting us and, you know, welcoming us to Homa Bay. Why should a group of people harass us and make sure that our goal is stopping, you know? And God, you know, we really thank God, and we actually made it to Homa Bay. But, you know, there was every effort by a coordinated group. You know, we have this guy, he's called Abdi, who is still, you know, roaming around, nothing done to him. And of course now I hear that he's been summoned, but he's very proud of what he's done. So these are all goons that can be questioned, and evidence can be tracked to see that they're the ones. But nothing, I assure you, Fred, will be done. Even as you can see, NCIC, how he's talking. The guy is just trying to deflect that thing. He should have spoken when Kaluma made that statement before the issue happened, so that now people are scared that action was taken against Kaluma, so that even the goonism would have not happened. You know, you don't come after the event to say that it's not your job, it's the police event. And the police were busy there smiling at us while nothing was being done. And eventually even the police were beaten up. And it's the same Linda Mwananchi, who are the people who are helping. I don't know if you saw the picture, but, you know, there's some police who were saved by the team. Linda Mwananchi.
At least one police officer died in that.
But imagine somebody carried another policeman on the car and hanged him all the way just to help him. Mm-hmm. You understand? The guy was hit on the head. And it's a shame, to be honest. Even, you know, you find that this is intentional sabotage. And, you know, I mean, it might sound like we're blaming the government, but we're not even asking the government for any favor. We're just asking for freedom to go and visit any part of the country and speak to the Mwananchi. Simple. You know, whenever we're going to the strongholds of the current government, there's always this, you know, arranged kind of group. So who's exactly organizing these issues? Sometimes we even have evidence. We even show the videos of what is being organized. Prior to the event, we get videos leaked. People are arranging pangas. People are meeting in a stadium and preparing and being told to Peter now. You understand? where are we heading as a country?
That's the question. Where are we heading? This is 356 days to elections. And the question, you can see the plan now Linda Mwananchi has, that, we're going to have civil disobedience, we're going to push the courts to act better. And do you really think those are going to be solutions?
Yes, they are going to be solutions. Let me tell you something. Linda Mwananchi, please, I'm sorry to tell you this because I'm one of you, but welcome to what DCP has been going through for the last 1 year. In Wetima, the people who shot at us, the people who beat us up, the vehicles that delivered the goons to the church, we gave the number plate, the name of the driver, the photo of the driver. We give the photos of every other policeman, the same way this fella is appearing on this newspaper. We gave everything to the police, to the point of even giving them video evidence. To date, for some reason, they've not been able to arrest them. Kagushia makes some remarks which I also believe were out of the way. They were not supposed to have been made. But there was 30 or some whatever number of Subarus waiting for him outside a media house. With that level of zeal, why have they not gone for Kaluma? Why have they not gone for the people that we have actually told them, this is the guy who is killing us? Mm-hmm. When you have a civilian like this carrying a gun, aiming and shooting at people, and he's accompanied by policemen, and there is a person who in their right mind thinks that this is a government worthy of their support. And those are the people we are talking to. Those are the people we are telling, by the way, we gave up on William Ruto. What we are worried about is those people who believe that he's fit to be president. Those are the ones we are worried about. They are the ones we look at every day and ask them, wait a minute, are you okay? Are you breathing? Are you thinking? Is your mind helping you? Because you cannot tell me that it is okay for policemen to wake up and walk together with the goons and give goons tear gas. These guys were being beaten. Sisi tumezoea. Wale watu wanaturushia tear gas wanakuanga goons. Even in Olkalau you saw. The people who shoot at us are actually not policemen, some of them. They are known goons, but they work with policemen. In Olkalau, the people who were beating us, wakimaliza, they were parking their vehicles at the county commissioner's residence and his office. That's where their vehicles were spending the night. To date, the county commissioner does not know who was parking those vehicles there. There is a person telling you that an administration that wakes up, goes and butchers and kills its own people, and then comes back in the evening, deserves a second term. And that person is in a suit and tie and walking in town and saying he's normal. No, a guy who tells you that goons can kill people, park their vehicles at the county commissioner's office, wake up, kill more people, park their vehicles at the county commissioner's office, kill more people, park their vehicles at the county commissioner's office, and then they come and say, now this is the best administration we've had, it deserves a second term. And that person is declared that he's within normal. We need prayers as a nation. We need to get to a point where we ask ourselves, wait a minute, what is it that constitutes a wrong? If that is not wrong, coming from an administration, what is wrong? Okay. And when you ask them, they start telling you about yesterday, and they start telling you about tomorrow, to avoid the conversation about today. So when you tell them, they start throwing names of what happened under Kibaki, under Uhuru, and then everything. And then when you can't answer those questions, they start telling you about 2060 to avoid the conversation about today. What we are telling the government of the day is this. Please, we are alive today. We want answers today about our today. If you can't answer, there is something called resignation. Just say you have failed. Let us put in place people who will not allow goons to work with people. And we've always told this administration so that they should know, because I saw the president yesterday launching SHA and discussing his development agenda. We are telling him there is no agenda more important in Kenya than the lives of people. Because when you extinguish all of us, who will you govern? So don't tell us about SHA first. Don't tell us about roads. Don't tell us about anything first. Those things are important, but they are not more important than human life.
Okay.
So when we first have a conversation about people being alive, people being well, people enjoying their democratic rights, we worked so hard. We've gone back to 1992. Can you imagine from 2002 until now, 2022, We've never had a conversation about human rights. We are starting to have them now as a campaign agenda in 2027. Around Kibaki's time, we were having campaigns about roads, about stima, about barabara. Those are the things we wanted to have a campaign about. But in 2027, we've degenerated. We are now talking about that the right to life in this country is something that you have to worry about. The right to human dignity, freedom from being abducted, freedom from being put in a suit. But we're always saying, wait a minute. Don't you dare think that we have a problem with being arrested when we go wrong. No. When we go wrong, what we want is to see policemen in uniform, either a police Land Cruiser, taking us to a police cell, booking us on the OB, and taking us to court the following day. That is the law. We have no problem with that. But hooded men, Subarus, nonsense, locations that are unknown, you die in a police cell like Albert Ojwang, we never signed up to any of that.
All right. But the buck must stop somewhere.
Yeah.
This blame game cannot continue. Politicians just saying, okay, fine, it's not my goon, it's your goon. That's not enough. Police, the National Police Service issued a statement saying that they're looking for a certain person. That person turned up at a police station, turned up at the DCI. They said, no, we're not looking for you. Everyone appears like they're not sure what to do around this thing. The buck must stop somewhere.
Yeah.
We cannot continue this conversation. Don't you think that it stops at the doorstep of the president? He had also assured the country that goonism needs to stop.
It can never be further from the truth. The buck must stop at administration. The buck must stop with the person who has the mandate and the institutions that have the mandate to govern. And that's why I keep saying, Fred, that don't listen to politicians because they will exercise simply that, political expediency. I can have some legroom for my brothers from Linda Mwananchi. But DCP cannot even be the ones to tell us about political intolerance. Because this is the party that warned Linda Mwananchi from stepping in there, in a zone they consider theirs. This is a party with a party leader who told the police, who told the people, and at that time I was in the streets demonstrating from the Azimio side, and they told us that the police are not in the street to kiss you. So that is not a party that can be able to tell us about political intolerance. When you look at a party like DCP, these are the people who spread leaflets in Olkalau. So what I'm saying is that forget the politicians. They will do exactly that. They will whip your emotions. They will want to practice what I call political intellectual goonism and make others believe that the only side that should be supported is their side. And you want to make it look like when people are not on their side, then they are wrong. In a country that is a democracy, everyone must be allowed to have their voice. They must be allowed to say what they want to say, to campaign wherever they want to campaign, and advance the agenda they want to campaign. Just recently, I think 2 days ago, we have a new presidential candidate entrant in Ndindi Nyoro who has just joined the fray, and others will keep coming up. We can't tell them not to run because you believe your party leader is the best to run, and yet that party leader is even an impeached person. That is tomfoolery. We must be able to allow everyone exercise their democratic right. And your right does not supersede other people's right. And when it comes to matters security, we must blame the people that we have given a mandate. And that's why for me, I keep insisting on that. Because when I look at what the NCIC chair is actually saying, first of all, I have a problem that NCIC is being reactionary. Because the mandate and role of NCIC does not just start and end at reaction. Because they must first of all create the conducive atmosphere. They are an independent commission. So they have a budget for them to first of all be moving around the country to encourage the people to bring down the temperatures so that we can be able to have these conversations in a peaceful environment. They are supposed to ensure that the ethnic balkanization moves down. They have that mandate. They have that budget. I don't know why they keep thinking that their budget is about doing press conferences immediately after there is a problem in the country. No, they should be able to be scaling these things down. It's an independent commission. And remember, independent commissions, the commissioners are actually full-time employees. They're not board members. Mm-hmm. They are full-time employees, complete with a salary and government largesse to be able to walk around with. So we must put the blame where it should be. And the last person we can be able to listen to in terms of finding solutions of security is a politician, because he will only blame the other person. Honorable Karauri just 3 weeks ago is an independent person, is an independent MP. But he was attacked in Umoja, and all his cars were actually smashed when he was doing his campaigns. Didmas Baraza in Bungoma was attacked. He's a government, pro-government UDA member of parliament who is running for governor. Just a day after the Linda Mwananchi rally, he was attacked somewhere in Kimilili. And that's what I'm saying, conversations around security are not he say, she say. No. These politicians, Fred, are the same. These politicians do the same thing. These politicians mobilize against each other, and that is the truth. The only person with the mandate, and the police cannot act on instruction of political camps, including even UDA. UDA cannot tell us we have identified this person, so go arrest him. The same way DCP cannot identify people for the police. The police do not exist so that someone does them a favor. No, they have the budget, they have the taxpayers' money to do their work. What they simply need to do is to do their work. But the more they keep being silent, the more political expediency takes center stage, and the more politicians will come on air and whip emotions in the name of being...
Do you agree with this plan by Linda Mwananchi to intensify court action, pressure on security agencies, civil disobedience, pushing for greater mobilization of civil society and media as a possible solution to this issue of goonism?
What that does extensively is still whipping their political arithmetic, but they are within their democratic right. Whether it helps them politically, whether it helps, at the end of the day, it's within their democratic right. Everything you've listed there, I don't see anything illegal. So yes, whether I agree or not is neither here nor there. The law okays them to do that. But what I see as a person is that it will win more political expediency than necessarily things that are tangible. Tangible things must actually be able to be done by the people that we have given.
My concern now is that this level of violence will cascade down to other contests, including MCA contests, which are homogeneous. Allow me to ask the question.
Yeah.
That other contests that are not necessarily at the national level, it's not a Linda Mwananchi pro-government, even within UDA zones or within DCP zones, that aspirants and candidates will find the necessity to have a group of, they'll call them personal security, and that could end up in violence at all levels. Do you see that risk?
I have just given you the example, Fred, of people who are not running for president, who have been attacked. And this is not just at the top level. The reason why you would see the thing that what happened to Linda Mwananchi is because it's a big outfit. It is more or less going for the presidential seat, though they have not said so. And so the cameras are on them. But I can assure you, Fred, that so many people are actually suffering down there, running for the small seats, even the MCA seats. And they are facing the same kind of intolerance. This intolerance does not just start and end at the top. And actually the most affected person, when the country puts, when this kind of violence in politics is high, the most endangered person is the young candidate. Because a young candidate, first of all, has no money to be able to start with security as a budget line. And that's why I am very ached when we keep pushing this conversation as though it is a he say, she said. I think one of the best places I've attended a political meeting, Fred, I attended a funeral somewhere in Meru. And one of the things that interested me in that funeral is that the sitting member of parliament was the one inviting all parliamentary aspirants to sell their agenda. As he stood there, they sold their agenda, finished, then he also sells his and goes. That is how it should be. Politics should be a contest of just ideas.
Both of these gentlemen are aspirants.
It should not be violent.
You're aspirants. And first, even before you contribute, do you find the necessity, as you continue your campaigns, to have your own personal security for self-defense in case anything happens?
Let me tell you, for Langata, it's very comfortable. Like I personally, I take care of myself, but whenever I'm going for any political events, I need security definitely, because even as we leave the event, sometimes you'll find that you're being followed by these goons and they don't want you to leave the event.
So you've made arrangements for your own security?
You have to, and sometimes I have to have a backup plan where if I'm not leaving here, I leave from this exit, because I know that so long as I'm going at a certain place, sometimes you'll find that existing.
What kind of nature of security is this? Is it police security? Is it
just
private bodyguards?
Just bodyguards to make sure that they can give you time to escape. Nothing with guns or crude weapons, no. Unfortunately, I mean, we've not reached there yet, but we are going there. Based on what I saw on Sunday, these people were out to kill us, Fred. They hit women with pangas on the head. They butchered people. Let me tell you, people lost limbs. People were it was a really bad scene. I could see it all. I mean, I witnessed the finance bill protest, and I witnessed this. This was just different, to be honest. These guys were really out there to kill us. So to be honest, I mean, this is something that it might be framed as a political whatever, but to be honest, we don't want to keep going that direction, you know. We want to be free to meet with the Mwananchi. You know, they were very happy to receive us, and throughout the way people were waving and coming to the road and celebrating Linda Mwananchi. Then why should a few people be arranged to distract our event? We just want freedom to go and speak to Mwananchi. We don't want, you know, in fact, even raising this security fees is expensive, because even myself, like, instead of one guard, I'll have to have two, you know, walking around with me, because now the political tension increases. We end up spending more for security. We'd rather not even go with any security, where we go and meet the people, because at the end of the day, they say that when the bulls are fighting, ni nyasi ndo inaumia, si ndio? Na ni wananchi ndo wanaumia. Na kusema kweli, hiyo ndo sisi tunasema, we're here to protect the mwananchi, and we just want freedom and tolerance when it comes to politics. Let us go and speak to the Mwananchi. What are you afraid of so much that you don't want us to speak to the people of Homa Bay? You understand? So this is something that even the people of Homa Bay should ask themselves.
But even in Langata, you say as things continue, you may need to boost your security further.
No, I mean, it's definitely important, because at the end of the day, I mean, I'm not worried, but when it comes to my family and my committee, everybody is like, you know, Omar, you need to protect yourself more, because they're seeing this thing where all of a sudden people are trailing you and all this kind of thing.
What is your security arrangement for the MAMBA?
You know, we say security is secure. So for me, I know security is secure, and security begins with us. But I would like to tell you this. We are having the wrong conversation. Why weren't we having these conversations around Kibaki time or Uhuru time? The biggest problem we have in this country is William Samoei Ruto. Full stop. He is the reason we are having these problems. Let us just face the truth. Because if the president says this madness stops now, it stops now. It won't go for 1 hour. So we are dealing with symptoms of a disease that is Shah here, I don't know what here, I don't know what here, goons here, insecurity here. Our problem is that we have a president who has allowed this to go on. And you people will say whatever you want to say. Trust you me. If William Ruto says this thing ends today, it ends today. If he says he's not going to allow this to happen, it's not going to happen. When Kibaki became president, we had a Mungiki menace. He told Michuki, bring this thing to an end. What we are seeing here is child's play compared to what Mungiki did. Walikuwa nakuja mpaka kwa Rurashio, wanasema pia wako na stake yao. Ukienda kumwaga mawe unataka kujenga, the Mungiki had their stake. Michuki woke up one day and he was told by Kibaki, we are ending this nonsense. And it came to an end. If the president decides that these small boys here who are disturbing us, that this nonsense will stop, it will stop. So our problem is not goons. We are just dealing with symptoms. Nobody wants to deal with the real cancer. Our problem is that we have a president who has allowed it to happen. But there's something I want to give as a rejoinder to what he said. He said that one day, at the DCP and Rigathi Gachagua stopped Linda Mwananchi from coming to Olkalau. And I want to make something very clear. First, I am a member of DCP and a founding member of Linda Mwananchi. And I attend Linda Mwananchi rallies. And I'll tell you this. The IEBC chair came about, I think, on a Wednesday or Thursday, and said that there's a lot of violence going on in Olkalau. Remember, there was no violence other than the hooded men they had sent to us. And on Monday, I'm going to give an advice as to whether the by-election is going to go on or not. What had government done? They had planned violence. And that is why on Friday, our DCP track was attacked by those balaclava men, hooded men. And they wanted to cause violence so that people could die, so that they can call off the by-election in Monday to avert the shame that was going to come and befall them. Linda Mwananchi innocently planned to come on Sunday to Olkalau. Rigathi Gachagua told them, if you come on Sunday, please don't mention DCP. Don't even say you're supporting our candidate. Why? If you people, if Linda Mwananchi and one of them, if they had come to Olkalau on that day, what would have happened is what you saw happening yesterday or on Sunday in Homa Bay. Young men would have been sent with pangas and crude weapons. There would have been a bloodbath in Olkalau. And those men would have come with DCP branded uniform. And they would have done that. Then it would have been said the DCP candidate has been disqualified because of the violence that happened on Sunday. Rigathi Gachagua himself restrained himself from coming to campaign in Olkalau because they were waiting for the day when he's going to arrive there. and they send young people again to kill people, and then it would have been cancelled. So we had that intel, and that's why Rigathi Gachagua told them, if Linda Mwananchi, you do come to Olkalau, do not mention DCP. Because once you mention DCP, as long as there's that association, they would have said the DCP candidate is the mother of this violence, and the by-election would have been cancelled. That needs to be very clear. It's true. They keep saying that Rigathi Gachagua is bullying other parties in the mountain. We told them, when you look at the Olkalau by-election, there were 9 parties on it, and all of them were allowed to campaign, and nobody fought nobody. So we want to say that we shall forget these diversionary tactics. At the end of the day the president says that the buck stops here, and that this nonsense ends now, believe you me, in an hour it will be over.
All right.
If the president wanted these goons arrested now, trust you me, by lunchtime all of them will be in a cell.
All right, the violence and goonism and the fear or anxiety of what this could turn into as we head closer to the 2027 general election. Serious concerns about pockets of violence that now have become widespread and normalized, that every political contest or rivalry has to be or has to turn violent. And that's a concern we have. This is a conversation that will definitely continue. It is there on most of the front pages. Goons, some of them being their images being revealed on the front pages, like this one here on the front page of the Standard, untouchable goon. I want us now to move on to a different discussion, and I know you've mentioned it, and it's there on the front page of Taifa Leo. Ni fuko? Ni swali wanauliza. Fuko is Swahili for mall. So watu wengi wanajua fuko lakini hawajajua ni mall. So ingawa Nyoro asisitiza hayumo serikalini, kuna wanaohisi amejibanza kwenye upinzani kusukuma agenda fiche. What exactly is Ndindi Nyoro doing? This is a story we've covered here at TV47. Let's have it.
Entry of Kiharu MP Ndindi Nyoro's new political outfit into the Mount Kenya region has ignited divisions within the United Opposition Alliance, amid questions over whether the People's Party of Kenya, PPK, is President William Ruto's project to divide the region ahead of next year's presidential poll.
One leader, Rigathi Gachagua, one party, DCP, one community, Mount Kenya. He has now decided that to cut down this community to size, he thinks that he can take us the direction of 1992. I am sorry to you, Mr. William Ruto. These wheelbarrows that are coming up, all of them, we know them. First, we knew they are coming. And we know the others that are coming. We saw one that was launched yesterday, and we were waiting for it because we had been told that there's a wheelbarrow that is coming from Muranga. We knew that it was coming. So does not come to us as a surprise that you have a new wheelbarrow. We actually know that there is another wheelbarrow that is coming. We know that there is a wheelbarrow that is being prepared in Laikipia. I think in Dionaika Mugu. We know there is another wheelbarrow that is being prepared from Nakuru.
He came up with his own party yesterday. And we are happy that he is also going to field candidate. This is what we want. Yes. We want competition. That is what democracy is all about. We do not want monopoly. Let us compete with ideas. Let the best leaders be elected in our region and elsewhere.
Those remarks affirm Gashagua's earlier statement following DCP's victory in the Olkalau by-election, where Gachagua claimed Ruto's plan was to launch new political parties and presidential candidates to divide the Mount Kenya region.
This by-election marks the death of UDA in this region. William Ruto knows it, and we are aware he is already scheming. He intends to introduce different colored wheelbarrows to accommodate his allies.
During the unveiling of the party on Monday night, seen as a potential launchpad for Nyoro's presidential ambitions in 2032, Nyoro said he had consulted Gachagua and other leaders before making the announcement, as he continues to struggle to shed the Ruto project tag.
I have sat down with Honorable His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua.
Nyoro's struggle to shed the Ruto project tag dates back to the contentious 2024 finance bill, which he voted for, his absence from Parliament during Gashagua's impeachment, and his failure to take part in the vote on the 2026 finance bill are developments that have left him at a political crossroads.
There was a time when he was very popular in Muranga, not just Kiharu. Before even Gachagua came up, people were talking about DDA as a possibility. Then Gachagua came up. And when it came to voting in the parliament, he was not counted. where it counted. People say, what's wrong with you? Why can't you take a position? Whether you support the Ruto position, but don't run away. When people are looking for a leader, they want somebody who is a little more decisive than that.
According to political analysts, President William Ruto appears to be using the Moi playbook, where the former president capitalized on divisions between veteran politicians Kenneth Matiba and Mwai Kibaki in the Mount Kenya region to win the 1992 general election. Apul Kamau, TV47.
After a very long period of ambiguity, finally Ndindi Nyoro made a statement. He now has joined the People's Party of Kenya. He is a party leader and he will be accepting aspirants from all over. Now this has caused quite some, it has elicited a lot of reaction. You can see, Foucault questions about his genuineness and all these things. But even before we take a look at other influences that he may be having, Ndindi Nyoro himself back in the fray, that is something very welcome, don't you think, Advice?
Yeah, I think what Ndindi is facing and the way the headlines are framing it is nothing but his own creation. Because the moment you start looking indecisive, everyone will start operating with kid gloves when they are dealing with you. And that's why you'll be able to see that we have some people who feel like he's on this side, others feel like he's on the other side, because there's a character about him that really came out, especially during both the finance bill issue of the previous year and this year. Because remember, he was the chair of budget when the Gen Z went to the streets. Yeah, meaning that his hands were really in that finance bill. And then way later, he came out after he was fired and started acting like one man who understands economics the best in the country, in fact, even advising us on where to invest. And with that kind of knowledge, when we came to the next finance bill, he held almost 10 press conferences telling us every wrong thing about it, and then he fails to vote. And he does not only fail to vote, Parliament also discovers that most of what he's actually saying is a lie, and that comes out to the public. And that's why I know that he will be treated like that for a while. But in terms of him launching a political party, it's way within his democratic right. And we have to also understand that Ndindi's political party is not a created political party. It's a party that has been here. So it's a party that has just changed leadership structure and made Ndindi Nyoro the party leader. He's within his rights to actually be in a political party, to run for any office. And I don't agree with the imaginations about when you come from Mount Kenya, you must be in DCP, and DCP is the party of the mountain, because there was Jubilee before DCP. There was DP before DCP. There were so many, there was PLP before DCP. But the DCP people, and Rigathi Gachagua was not told to join them because those are the parties of the mountain. And in essence, when you register a political party at the office of the Register of Political Parties, you don't register a political party for any region. You actually register a political party for the country. And this is not even a registered political party. It's an older political party, meaning it's actually older than DCP. So for me, I feel he's way within his rights to do whatever he's actually doing. He has a big task ahead of him in terms of proving to the people that he is no longer the watermelon that they have seen him to be. I liked the optics of the launch. I felt that he gave it quite a respectable way of launching his bid, because again, politics is very optical, and this from a strategic perspective. Politics is very optical, and when there is a way you come on board and you are taken seriously, yes. And I think he did well in terms of
from the communications perspective. Yeah. Do you think that he's going for the big seats, having that kind of launch for a party?
Definitely. You only do that when you want to go for the big seat. My only problem is that he seemed to doubt himself, because he didn't even say he's the party leader. It didn't come out. He didn't say that himself. He only insinuated. So, and that becomes a problem. The second thing is his messaging. I like that he tries to give a solution, because unlike all the other people in the opposition, he's the only one who seems to have some solutions that he can prescribe for the country. My only problem with his solutions is that all of them need a new constitution, because in all of them he says he needs legislation. He needs to change the law, because I think when you run for office as president, you first of all imagine the country as it is. You must first of all start from the place of as we are, as our law is. But every solution that you have is pegged on us having another law, and I think that to me is quite bizarre. But he has a right, and he can be able to run for office. But then just in my finishing, I just wanted to say that there's always this thing about trying to make Kibaki look like he was the best thing that happened after sliced bread. And my brother says that during Kibaki there was peace and tranquility. I think that is the only administration that imported goons and gave them titles in their tour brothers. That is the only administration that actually brought goons from Armenia, brought them to Kenya, and gave them rank and file at the police. We are not talking about unknown people the way we are talking about these ones. These ones had rank, so we can't really talk about that. During President Uhuru's administration, we had the killing of Kianjoma brothers. Those of us who were in Azimio, in ODM at that time, were had Raila when you were away. You remember how many people died at that time? So this attempt to always make it look like previously the country was doing very, very well and today there is a problem, I think for me it borders more on either political expediency, inexperience, or just a lack of knowledge of history.
All right. Haji, what's your take of Ndindi Nyoro's latest move? We saw your party patron, the Senator, Sia Governor, James Orengo there, and the declaration by Ndindi Nyoro that he is now in the opposition, which people knew about. Do you feel that that was a huge statement? Do you see him coming the way of the Linda Mwananchi movement? And why did he not join Linda Mwananchi, for example, earlier on?
No, to be honest, Fred, I'll be very careful with Ndindi Nyoro. It's a very slippery one. To be honest, his objective is not usually well known. Throughout, he's been speculated to be a mole of the government. But what really triggers my thinking is how fast he managed to register that party while Linda Mwananchi is struggling to get a party registered.
It had already been registered. I think it was an old party registered back in the 90s, I guess. It's only that it was not active.
Parliament,
Okay. So basically PPK, right?
Yes.
Oh, anyway, so basically, you know, I'm really surprised on how things are going smooth. And what really gives me always, one thing that I've learned about this game right now is that whenever you see something grand, know that the president is behind it. When you see all those ODM flashy events, those Ruto are behind them. If you look at that flashy launch, there must be a financier behind it, what I can see, because all the TV stations were paid to come for that event. Not even like a tip or no, booked out to be on live during that time. You understand? So there should be something that, you know, even if he's saying that he's coming to the opposition, I would be very. I mean, if you're invited, you go. You know, at the end of the day, even the way, one other thing that also triggered, there's the fact that he's mentioning Gachagua, that Gachagua is on his side, then later Gachagua comes and says, I'm not on your side. So, you know, there's a lot of question marks and a lot of gaps in between that make me understand that, you know, but generally in the overall game, I don't understand why.
It doesn't feel right.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right. Like, I just feel like, but I mean, as my colleague said, it should be a free and fair process. And just the same way that he's allowed to have a party and, you know, collect members, the same way even Linda Mwananchi should be allowed to set up their party and continue with the process. I don't see why we should have these hurdles every now and then, and yet it's our democratic right. But we hear very well that maybe, you know, like Ndindi Nyoro has been partners with Ruto for a long time, they're friends. So, you know, this is something that also the opposition should be very careful of, because but generally, I really want to advise the people of Mount Kenya to be very careful, because the votes are very much in demand, it seems, and you know, they should be very careful not to be used in the wrong way, or used in a, you know, to be outsmarted. You know what I mean? Because what it looks like is like we're being sold a phone, but inside there's nothing inside. So sometimes it's good to have more parties, because we need political dustbins. At the end of the day, the game is still young. Everybody can hide their cards now, but at the end of the day, Mwananchi will see the cards. At the end of the day, all the cards will be on the table, and Mwananchi will be able to see in Mbivu, in Mbaya.
He was a blue-eyed boy of President William Ruto at some point. This is someone who's received a lot of accolades for what he does. He is one of those people who many people thought would even rise to a higher rank. But this vehicle that he has come up with could find necessity, especially for people who are trying to ditch UDA, come to the opposition. The direction they were initially hoping to go is DCP. DCP has said, not very fast, we are reluctant to actually welcome you. Do you think that this will now be the natural destination for most of those defectors from UDA in Mount Kenya?
To start with, thank you. For the first time, we want Ndindi Nyoro in a position of leadership. We want him to be able to lead something, because he's always criticizing things. Now we want him to lead something. And it's good that he's a party leader now. where we had a problem in DCP because some of these characters who are coming from government, we can't 100% trust them. That becomes a safe abode for them. So tunaomba nyinyi wote, the ones who are leaving UDA today, just go to Ndindi Nyoro's party and stay there. Work with him. You people have a philosophy. You've worked together for some time. You understand each other. You have a camaraderie between yourselves. I keep hearing people saying that he's making a party, I don't know, to split votes of the mountain. He's coming to compete with DCP. Who told you DCP is a mountain party? MCA wa Atuoli sahi, the current MCA for Atuoli in Kakamega huko kwao, is actually a DCP MCA. We have an MCA in Narok. We have an MCA in Kariobangi. And you know, MCA represents grassroots leadership. So it tells you in Atuoli's constituency, at the very level, at the lowest, at the grassroots, we have a DCP. In fact, in that election, UDA came out, I think, number 6 or 7. ODM was number 5 or something of that kind. So it tells you DCP is popular even in Kakamega. Okay? DCP is popular in Narok. DCP is popular in Nairobi. We have an MCA in Kariobangi, which is cosmopolitan. So DCP is not a mountain party. So let's stop comparing it with Akina PPK, I don't know, P what. We are a national party. In Emuru Adikir, kwa Kipsigis, we got more than 10,000 votes, which was 38% of the total votes cast. A party that gets 38% of the votes cast somewhere in Rift Valley is not a mountain party, is a national party. Now, I heard him, Mr. Advice Mundalo here, say that Ndindi Nyoro is offering solutions. What solutions? Can you imagine, you find someone who is sick, they probably have HIV, and then they're having opportunistic infections. Anaumwa na malaria, akona kikohozi, akona hii. And then you start coming and saying, we are going to treat the malaria in this guy, and then we are going to treat the cough in this guy, and then we are going to treat the homa in this guy. The guy has got a perennial thing which is affecting his body. It's a bigger disease. It's HIV, it's cancer. There's something bigger in him. Ndindi Nyoro does not want to address the mountain. He's telling us how we'll fix education. He's telling us, I had his solutions. I actually watched him. He's telling us how we are going to fix energy. He's telling us how we are going to fix health. But he's not telling us that the biggest problem that has brought us to a place where we are now having to discuss health is William Ruto. He's not telling us that the biggest problem that has brought us to a situation where children now cannot go to school, capitation to school is unavailable, university funding model is ununderstandable. Even to people who have studied, they can't understand the university funding model. So he's giving us fixes. But the main cancer, which has led us to a situation where all these problems are happening, he doesn't want to talk about. So when you ask Ndindi Nyoro, what is your position about William Ruto? He says, I'm in the opposition. You tell him, do you think William Ruto should go for a second term? Ndindi Nyoro will never answer that question. And that is the question, that is the elephant in the room. Don't tell us, if someone is sick, don't tell us how you'll treat the symptoms.
What do you think he meant by saying he's in the opposition?
No, you see, when he said he's in the opposition, every other person can be in the opposition. Let me ask, I want Kenyans to do a small experiment right now. Do you know a government blogger? Yes. Now go to the page of that government blogger. Have you ever seen a situation whereby an opposition candidate is being marketed by government bloggers? Now, I just think of one blogger you know who blogs for the state. Go to their page and see what they are writing about Ndindi Nyoro. Can you imagine an opposition candidate who is squarely within opposition, but government bloggers were happy, and even now, they are saying very nice things about him. They are marketing his party. Unajua, sometimes it's good to be wise. Hata nyinyi gava mungeficha white kidogo. Why are you a blog? Kenyans, ingieni kwa simu saa hii. Tafuta one government blogger you know. Kabla delete, muangalie what they have said about Ndindi Nyoro. Fantastic things. They are marketing his party. So you wait a minute. Hata kama sometimes sisi ni wajinga, ujinga yetu sio mingi sana.
So he's a mole.
Lakini, no, we will know. Unajua Thursday si mbali. Mimi nakwambia Fred.
Basically, mambo umesema he's a mole.
All I'm saying,
you do not trust his...
You people just go.
Thursday si mbali.
Look for a government blogger you know.
Sirigijia na Muranga.
Yes.
Tutajua mbivu na mbi.
Look for a government blogger you know. Go and look at what they are saying about Ndindi Nyoro. Then come back to me. And in fact, when you speak about goons, okay, sure. Some of the worst goons we have exist online. People who just go online and bully others with terrible ideas of an administration that should not be seeing the light of day tomorrow. And they tell you how good it is because they are getting 500 shillings or 1,000 shillings for their own pockets. I think once we are done smoking out the goons who are beating up people, we need to start going online and asking, huyu mtu Is he really one of us as a Kenyan? Does he go to the same petrol stations we go? Does he live the life we are living?
What does that do to a politician? The fact that you enter the fray and there's a lot of mistrust. You remember the days of fence seating about watermelon and what that did to that particular politician.
Yeah.
Ndindi Nyoro being branded a watermelon, a mole, all that. He was a young, bright, with a bright future politician. What does that do to him?
I said it in my beginning, Fred, that Ndindi invited that to himself. And there's nothing anyone can do about it, because the moment you start appearing lukewarm in the political fray, the moment we cannot be able to pinpoint exactly where you are and what you stand for, that becomes the problem. The moment you become the kind of person who can stand in parliament and say we need to move this VAT to 16%, and you say that you have all the right reasons to do so, and quickly, just because you are not chair of the same committee, you now come and say that was the worst decision that was ever taken, because you imagine people have forgotten that it was you that moved the same motion, it becomes difficult for actually people to trust you. So what is happening to Ndindi is something that he invited on himself, and he'll keep facing this. He'll have to do a lot of work actually to do away with that tag. What I don't really agree with is this idea of making it look like he doesn't have a right to actually form a political party. He doesn't have a right to do anything. I think he is within his democratic right. The problem we have is that we have some people, Fred, who think that everyone must think like them. And if you don't think like them, then you are not a Kenyan. That's why they have the infantry to tell people that want to smoke them out because they are writing what we don't agree. It's not like that. People must have freedom of expression. The same way that you have your freedom is the same way others must have their freedom. And the fear here is that give it to him. He is not, Ndindi is not a lightweight politician. He's a gentleman who has won his term twice. He's a gentleman who has been able to manage to have some national appeal until he messed it up himself. So you cannot just say that his party will actually be...
He found the need to name drop and mention a few names, including
which I felt was completely unnecessary, because that's why I told you that his body language was betraying him in terms of the level of confidence in himself. I didn't see the level of confidence enough. But when he's being bullied in terms of saying that he is from government and he should remain there, I wonder, because if there is a person who was in government, was Rigathi Gachagua. He was at the helm of government, but Rigathi didn't form opposition. Opposition existed before Rigathi, but yet it accepted him when he came. But now the DCP people are now saying that people should not join them because if you're in government, remain there. JB Muturi was in government. He came out and they embraced. The people who are pushing the narrative about don't come from government the most are aspirants. Because aspirants know that when those people come, the first person who is going to be affected is them. Because they are coming to run for their seats. And when they are put on a pedestal, it will tilt. The equilibrium will tilt the other way more. Because politics is first a game of influence and money. Most of the aspirants who are new cannot be able to match the level of money and influence of those who will be coming from the other side. And that's why they want to push that narrative that people should not join them. It is an aspirant's thing. It is not necessarily anyone else actually doing it. And when you talk about the flashiness, my brother from Linda Mwananchi said that when an event is flashy and it's being covered by all media houses, it simply means that it's being sponsored by government. I don't think anyone has been covered in this country more than Linda Mwananchi. They cover their convoy, not their speech. The media covers their convoy on live stream. Every media house is always there, live streaming them. So are they also sponsored by President William Ruto then? Because in fact, what I imagine, that is actually true. That is actually
which
true.
station was
K24.
Only K24.
K24.
Which other station?
You said it wasn't right. Now
which other station apart from K24? You say all media stations.
Don't be fearful.
Okay, apart from K24, which other station?
I don't interject.
We are on TV47. Yeah. Forget about the rest.
Exactly. And that's why I didn't want to mention, because I have the respect to understand that I'm on another media house. So all the most covered person, more than even DCP, is actually Linda Mwananchi. I can almost bet it that for the covering that even DCP receives, it is coverage that some of them, you'll see them with an organized press conference, and they will even pay for their airtime when they are on air. Is that also sponsored by President William Ruto? One of the flashiest events that we have are DCP events because they are the ones who are fully branded. Actually, in the entire opposition, the flashiest events come from two people, DCP and Linda Mwananchi.
DCP has yet to launch its party. Attempts to launch the party were thwarted.
Yes.
You missed a venue a couple of times.
No, you see the amount of goats that are slaughtered every day at Wamunyoro. Are they also sponsored by President?
That is also flashy.
It's very flashy.
No, flashy. So I mean, it depends on flashy.
When you talk about, can I finish? Then my brother from Linda Mwananchi can have the remaining hour. When you talk about flashiness as a source of, like anyone cannot be flashy, I think that's pedestrian. People can have an opportunity to form their thing the way they can. And I think Ndindi has been a member of parliament twice. He can actually afford to book a Safari Park Hotel. He's not one of my favorite politicians because I really believe that he has a lot of double standard, but I don't exist from the corner of politics that imagines that everyone must think like me, and if they don't think like me, then that is not democracy. No, I come from the corner of politics that believes that everyone must be able to be given an opportunity. And when the people do not want him, he will simply not be voted. When the people do not want his party, it will simply perform badly. So I don't know why there is a lot of jitters within the opposition when he is coming in. If he is not palatable, I mean,
even when the Linda Mwananchi movement first emerged, not everyone, especially within the opposition formation, was comfortable. They felt that you probably coming to eat into a space
that is very crowded.
Yes, that they were in.
And many more parties will pop up, Fred. It is everyone's right to come in and contest. You know, this is fine. Many more parties, I suspect, will come in. Everybody wants a share, and and to see. So there's a lot of struggles for power and all that. That's a different story. But at the end of the day, we will finally know what is going to go. I mean, everybody will show their cards. Just on Thursday when Rigiji goes to Muranga, we will know where Ndindi Nyoro stands. You understand? So I feel like all these
What do you expect to happen in Muranga?
I mean, let me see what happens. I mean, it depends on how Muranga will also react. But in terms of flashiness, he says that all the medias followed us. Believe me, only one media station followed us. They have to be proper and accurate when they're giving these statements. And we did not see other conventional media. Even TV47 was not part of our entourage. So he should be very careful when saying all media were there. Only one was there live. The rest were all TikTok, Facebook, all this kind of streaming. You understand? So, and in terms of flashiness, yes, we agree that our events are very well attended. People, unfortunately, we can't afford to give everyone caps because we're not funded by anyone, but we're funded by the Mwananchi themselves. We've seen our paybill 303-3049, where people are donating money to Sifuna at the moment and helping him run his campaign. You understand? Just over the weekend in Bogoma, he collected 6 million shillings, which was enough to even pay for Homa Bay event. So we are clearly showing that this is what, even in fact our colleagues who were arrested, the bail, the bond, whatever it is, we had to contribute, all of us, and pay for these people. So I don't understand why when I hear Uhuru Kenyatta is supporting this event, when I hear all these other people are supporting our party, I wish we got that support, to be honest. We are really using our own finances, and we're happy that the Mwananchi has come in to support our patrons and give them the direction. So we're here for the long journey. At the end of the day, the Mwananchi can sense and see that these are the people who are fighting for us.
What is so wrong if Uhuru Kenyatta decided to fund the Linda Mwananchi movement? Which
is not even a problem either, and we are welcoming it, to be honest. It will help us to propel even further. We have no problem. We're here for the Mwananchi. We are not here to battle and do anything else, to be honest. These are people who are recognizing that the Mwananchi is feeling a very tight situation at the moment, economically. All these other necessities like health, education are all dilapidated, and we're hearing them, and we're trying to work on their problems. But on the other hand, nobody in the government is willing to give an ear to the Mwananchi to hear their problems, and just controlling the narrative and trying to make sure that the agenda is there. So I feel like they're busy discussing about how they can share positions and everything, and we're busy here with the agenda of the Mwananchi. So it depends on what the priorities are for the political party and the people and the leaders. But what I can tell you is many of the leaders right now will not make it.
What would be the effect of increasing presidential candidates? Linda Mwananchi has already, I think Edwin Sifuna declared that probably he could go for that. Now, Ndindi Nyoro looks like he could declare the same. What is the net effect of that?
Let me tell you, we have said Farasi Nimbili. At the end of the day, Farasi Nimbili, in a way that what we want is to make sure that as an opposition we remain strong. At the moment, what is creating a lot of panic in government and rather the united, I mean the coalition between ODM and UDA, is because they are panicking. The numbers are not adding up. The arithmetic is favoring our side. So what they want is to further divide us. And one thing that we are so sure as the opposition is that our unity is our strength. Okay. The moment we start dividing and acting in, you know, in self-interest, trust me, we are not going to make it.
Unity is strength.
And this is what actually all the principles have been, you know, repeating continuously, that hata kama tutakosana tutasikizana, na hata kama viti ni 3 kwa 3 watu 5 wanaweza toshea, unakaa square na una fit. So to be honest, itabidi to fit.
Would you consider Ndindi Nyoro a possible principal in the United Alternative Government? We've seen Jeremiah Kioni there from the Jubilee Party. He's an official of the party, being welcoming Ndindi Nyoro's move. DCP appears conspicuously rather uncomfortable with this.
We are not uncomfortable with Ndindi Nyoro. In fact, there's one thing I want to tell everybody. There are people who thought that DCP will put up a fight against Ndindi Nyoro. Let me tell you, one thing we know. If we fight this young man, he's going to become so popular, he'll get sympathy. Yeah. People will say we are fighting him. Ndindi Nyoro, can you start organizing your meetings? Can you start popularizing yourself? Mm-hmm. Can you start going everywhere you want to go? Nobody is interested in fighting you. In fact, we promise you, we will never send you goons to attack you. We will not fight you. We will only speak the truth about you. So we in DCP do not have a problem with the person of Ndindi Nyoro. And if you want to believe it, DP had a candidate in Olkalau, in Mbere. Mm-hmm. We withdrew our candidate in support of the DP candidate. In fact, we even gave our time and resources and money. Most of the people who were manning the Mbere polling stations were from DCP. So when we went to Olkalau, all the other parties were there, including PLP. DCP never interfered with any of them. From where we sit as a party, we don't see Ndindi Nyoro as a problem. He will come and join Jubilee, he will join PLP, DP, and all the other parties that we have. And we wish him well. Ours is just to tell him that the people of Murang'a and the people of the whole country will decide. If he wants to vie for president, by the way, again, do we have a problem with him? No. He'll just offer himself for the presidency.
What effect would it have? If Mount Kenya region right now so far has no presidential candidate, mm-hmm. not even from DCP. Mm-hmm. If at all Ndindi Nyoro, and you say he's a strong politician, mm-hmm. he's been considered for bigger positions. He was touted as a possible deputy president.
Yes.
If he decides to run, does that change the arithmetic for your party? Or the politics in that region?
Not at all. Not at all. You see, there was Mwaure who vied for president, and then there was William Ruto. And we all voted for William Ruto. I was not on that side, I was in Azimio.
Are you making a comparison between...
All I'm trying to tell you is
Ndindi Nyoro has been in parliament for a while.
When people make a decision, about the candidate they want, Orengo was a very strong candidate. But Raila Amolo Odinga took his people to vote for Mwai Kibaki. And Orengo was brilliant, he was better. And he did not change the politics of Luo Nyanza. He got 24,000 votes, and Raila took every other person who had the votes from Nyanza region to Kibaki. So we found the Luos actually voting for a Kikuyu and leaving one of their own. Mm-hmm. All I'm trying to tell you is even if Rigijik is not a candidate, I don't know how things will go, but let us imagine he's not a candidate. And Ndindi Nyoro vies. What will happen is exactly what happened around 2002, when Orengo was a candidate right there, and Raila Amolo Odinga took all the votes to another person who was a non-Luo. So if we in DCP decide, for example, to support Kalonzo or Sifuna or Matiang'i or whoever else in the event that Rigiji is not vying, I can assure you that Ndindi Nyoro will get a few votes, a few votes like this, and they will take him to wherever they'll take him, but it's not going to change the mountain. That's what usually happens. It has happened before, and it's going to happen even now. So his pocket of votes is known. He will get a few. Yeah, fair enough. Maybe those people who are cheering him. And the problem we have with Ndindi Nyoro, he's being cheered a lot by people from other regions who will know that they will not vote for him. Watu wa Rift Valley wanamwambia, hey, Ndindi, go for president. When it comes to the ballot, they will vote for Ruto. Watu wanamwambia from Luo Nyanza and Western and a few other places. When the rubber hits the road and Ndindi Nyoro is a candidate, they will cheer him, hoping that he's going to split the mountain vote. Alafu waamuke asubuhi, waende wavotie Sifuna, ama wavotie Matiang'i, ama wavotie. So Ndindi Nyoro is in for a very rude shock. that his own mountain people will definitely not vote for him. And then all these other regions that are cheering for him, ikifika siku ya kura, unafikiri kuna mtu ataachana na Sifuna akiwa Western apigie Dende Nyoro kura? So he's going to be surprised that.
Do you think he would have been a perfect fit to join the Linda Mwananchi movement instead of beginning his own?
Not even, okay, even joining Linda Mwananchi is a good thing for him. The only problem is after he joins them, what seat is he looking for? Because all politics is local. I mean, if right now,
we have people from the Mlima in Linda Mwananchi.
Yes.
It's very okay.
Yeah, so it's okay. He could.
So long as we're in the opposition.
The problem
side.
is ni kiti gani anataka.
Exactly.
Because tuseme anaenda kusimama Keharo na ticket ya Linda Mwananchi, na kuna candidate wa DCP Keharo, you know what will happen to him? That's exactly what will happen. A person coming from Western today, kuna Linda Mwananchi Western, na alafu mtu anakuja anasimama na chama ingine huko Western, PNU. What will happen to that person?
Are you saying that even for Kiharo, if he decided to run for the MP's position, that if DCP fields a candidate in Kiharo and he goes there with PPK, the DCP candidate will...
Ataona giza asubuhi. Let me tell you. We saw somebody called Raphael Tuju, a very good friend of mine. A brilliant... By the way, Raphael Tuju is exactly like Dende Nyoro. Tuju is brilliant. He had good ideas. Aliwaletea mpaka ng'ombe inatoka maziwa mingi. Wakasema ati hii ni uchawi wakarudisha. He really did well for Arieda. But what mistake did Raphael Tuju do? He came there and vied on TNA when everybody else was in ODM. Tuju aliona giza asubuhi. Was he brilliant? Yes. Was he good? Was he capable? In fact, Luo Nyanza has never had such a brilliant leader like Raphael Tuju. But what happened to him? That's where Dende Nyoro is. He's here, he's fighting against something he can't win.
All right, let's take a short break so that when we come back, we get final comments from our panelists. This is TV47 Breakfast.
You are the guy.
Thank you, sir.
When are you vying for presidency? So to all the ladies who are trying to have a crush on DJ Ian and I'm sorry we are taken and not for granted.
You are funny.
Thursday, we have a date every single day. Remember hii ni TV47 mtu wangu, na story ni yako, story ni yangu, story ni yetu. To all the ladies, mwah. To all the men, you can sort yourselves out. Yeah!
No more excuses. It's time to rise, grind, and own your mornings. Join Coach Shadrach Omar from 5:30 to 6 a.m. only on TPM.
Ready? Go! No way!
Oh, no. That's the way you're feeling, I guess.
No, not that. Look!
Stand back. I'll get you out of there. Power of red! Fire blast!
Ooh, big word. You are smart.
Now you're getting it.
Trust me.
Guess we're here.
Vault the Wonder Deer. Fridays, 3:30 p.m. on TV47. Sundays at 8:30 p.m.
Good morning.
You have my rent?
Leo jioni kama tutakuwa tumelipa rent, nauza hii simu yako.
Hamna pesa. I need 3 G's to make my nails today.
Sasa hivi natuhusu aje?
Can I order now? Do you ship? Can I get blinking ones?
Mimi nilikuwa na trade. Nimewekelea kitele yangu. Kitele yangu na trade. Nikikunyuma.
Oh my God. He left me. Nitumie ni live.
Uko nje kuna wifi.
Why? High five?
Wait, so what do we call this dish again?
I have no idea.
V.
All right, welcome back. This is the final leg of TV47 Breakfast. At least State of the Nation. A lot more is coming up later on. Matters relationships. Today we'll be looking at childhood trauma. and your leader will be having that conversation. But before that, we want to finalize the conversation we've had. We're done with the goodism issue. We're talking about the prospects of this brilliant politician who many have applauded, but advice. If you listen to Fanyamambo, he sounds very confident that it is done for. Ndindi Nyoro, that he has to go for a totally different seat, probably at the national level. If at all he goes with PPK to reclaim his seat as MP for Kiharu, and DCP feels a candidate there, that DCP will prevail. Do you really believe that could happen? Kiharu, they sing praises, they sing songs. So
Fred, I think, Fred, you know, at some point I'll want to run for president. In my former party, I think Fanyamambo will be my Secretary General.
Thank you.
He has a PhD in defending his party. So, whereas part of me really agrees with him in terms of how our people sometimes think. We are very emotional voters, especially the mountain people and the people of Nyanza are highly emotional voters. And most of the time, they would pick a direction and go that direction and simply vote people who are in their basket, not because those people have gravitas, but just because they're in that basket. That's why you'll realize the ODM ticket was very coveted in Nyanza, because at some point people only reason like that. But be that as it may, it doesn't mean it doesn't have some outriders, because in the same mountain today, we have Honorable Kiunjuri, who is a TSP party leader, and he's elected actually. In the same Nyanza region, we have an MDG party leader who is actually elected. So sometimes it just depends with the stakes that the person comes with. And I don't, like you said, Ndindi is not just any average lightweight politician. And one of the things that he poses as a threat to DCP is that he presents a semblance of a hope for the future for them more than Rigathi Gachagua presents. And that is with the all factors held constant, where that means that Rigathi Gachagua is not a presidential candidate as per the law of Kenya today. So because not presidential candidate, someone would want to look at it and feel like, okay, fine, but where is he taking us? At the end of the day, when the rubber meets the road, remember our voters are extremely tribal. When they get to the ballot and the only person from their place is Ndindi Nyoro, you can be able to be sure that some of them will just be whipped emotionally like that. Most of the time when leaders have been able to rally their people so fanatically to one side is when they have someone at the top. But in the event that DCP remains the political party, but it doesn't have a presidential candidate, and the deputy presidential candidate is not also a member of DCP, and then there is this party with a young person who has quite a name across the country and he comes from Mount Kenya, then you can't deny the fact that if not everybody, then Muranga will actually sway that direction. Because Muranga will start feeling like is it not becoming time for Muranga? Because all politics is local.
They've never had a presidential candidate.
Exactly. The reason why people in Bungoma, for instance, are excited about Sifuna is not because there's anything Sifuna has done for the people of Bungoma. There is nothing he has done for them. The only thing is that is the tribal card, and people are feeling like this is our son. And he is young, he presents hope for the future. So it's nothing about any deliverable. So it even makes Ndindi better. No, Ndindi has something he can peg on and say he has been able to build schools, he has been able to put tiles, children now pay 500 shillings. There is some semblance. But then when the rubber meets the road at the end of the day, people will reason in terms of he is our own and he is our son. And at that level, it will now become county-based then. It will now stop even being about the mountain. It will come down to a county. And the people of Muranga would want to start asking themselves, when last did we have a president? Isn't it maybe our time for us to also start?
They've never had a president.
Exactly. And then they will start having the argument that, okay, can't you guys also support us? Is it then our time? Remember, the ordinary voter is not a political scientist. The ordinary voter just reasons in a basic manner. Very basic. And when the first instinct for him is tribe, and the second instinct is self-preservation, is this our child? And then the third, which is always on the last tire, is what does this person portend to have to be doing for us? And when I said that Ndindi presented something about what he wants to do, it's not that I even believe in those things that he was saying, but I was just comparing him with the rest of opposition leaders. He is the first one who has attempted to have things that an attempt at solutions. All of them, of course, to me are pedestrian. Why? Because all your solutions cannot be pegged on a new constitution. Because you can't tell us that everything you want to do, you need us to have a referendum. Meaning you can't imagine the country as it is today Yeah, but now when I compare him with the rest, when I compare him with Kalonzo Musyoka, who says SHA is not working, but when he's asked why, he said he needs an audit committee, then Ndindi becomes better than that. Okay. When I compare him with my brothers who say that the problem of affordable housing is that chicken cannot go to 12th floor, then Ndindi actually sounds better than that. When I compare him with Rigathi Gachagua, who says the only problem this country has is William Ruto, then actually this becomes better than that. So it's from a point of comparison and not from a point of belief. Yep. And also I believe that he has actually a right to do whatever he needs to do. Just the same way I'll form my political party and make Fanyamambo the Secretary General is the same way I must allow Ndindi form his. And I'll invite you over, the two of you, as a party leader and Secretary General, onto this show. No, final word.
Mine is just to say that, you know, my colleague expects Sifuna to build roads. I mean, he's a senator, for God's sake. Give him credit where it's due. He's done a fantastic job as a senator. He has done a fantastic job even when ODM, you know, chose to keep quiet and not speak truth to power. He's the one who stood up and spoke truth to power. So he's the one who's carrying on the spirit of Baba and carrying on this, you know, the democratic ODM that was there, not the shell that is remaining. But anyway, mine is to always say that, you know, political insults, goonism, all these things will take us nowhere. And for me, as a leader, what brought me here is to serve the people. So mine taking it back home in Langata, you know, I would want to make sure that we're focused on what actually are the pain points for the Mwananchi. You know, if all my manifesto, sharpening, listening to the people, understanding the problem, and already getting to work, to be honest. We're doing a lot in the constituency, productive stuff. So whenever there's an event with the party or any work that needs the party, I will attend. But my focus as Omar, Haji Omar Langata is my focus. My people's problems are my focus. So to be honest, I will not be swayed to the politics that, you know, the dirty politics that has been ongoing, because that's not what has led me here. I'm not here for titles or whatever it is. I'm here specifically for leadership, genuine leadership, and to serve the people of Langata. And I hope, I beg them for their support.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for that. Ndindi for president, what kind of problem does it present to you? Murang'a has never had a president.
We don't have a problem. Kenneth Stanley Jindo Matiba came from Kiharu constituency.
He was never president.
He never became president.
Kiambu has had
actually, he won the presidency. But
won.
You know what Moi did? The people of Murang'a are not stupid. They have read the constitution. They know that for you to be president, you need at least 25% of the total votes cast in at least 25 counties. And they know Dende Nyoro can't get that. I mean, give me 25 counties that will give Dende Nyoro 25%. Where in Western will Dende Nyoro get votes? Those people have their candidate they love, they call him Sifuna. You go to Kisii land, they will not vote for Dende Nyoro when Matiang'i is there. You go to the whole Kalenjin land, some of them will vote for Ruto, some of them will vote elsewhere. I look at the coast. Joho is saying he's going to be important and pivotal in helping Ruto to become president. So the people of Murang'a know that in as much as they would want to lie to themselves that Dende Nyoro represents tomorrow, they know that he's not ripe for president right now, because they know even if they gave him all their votes, Murang'a has got about 600,000 votes. It would still create another big problem, in the sense that getting 25% of the total votes cast in 25 counties, Dende will not even get 5 counties. That's your kumchukia. It's just the truth. When you look at the candidates who are there right now, which community is willing to sacrifice the votes they have to give to a guy called Dende from Murang'a, and they know he's not winning the presidency? He doesn't present any dilemma for us. We are happy with him vying. Peter Kenneth was there. You know the results. Finally, I would like to say that I am happy for this opportunity to be on TV47, so that we try to remind this nation that sometimes we who are the victims of this political violence are the ones who are usually accused of it. And we usually say, sisi ni kuenda tulienda, sisi ni kupigwa tumepigwa. Sisi hakuna mtu tumepiga. Sisi ni kupangiwa tumepangiwa violence. It has been meted upon us. Can you look at us with some grace and understand that we are the victims? We are not the perpetrators of this violence. And finally, I keep hearing people, because I like reacting to them, telling us, oh, Fanyamambo, you're always fighting the national fight. You should focus on Dagoretti. I will remind you here that I have told you before, that if your whole house is on fire, you can't come and say, I'm only interested in bedroom number 3 because I sleep in bedroom number 3. So let us not put out the fire in the rest of the house. We just focus on my bedroom. And when I look, my bedroom is not on fire. Watu wa Kenya, when your house is on fire, the whole house, There is no your bedroom without the kitchen and the sitting room and everything else. There is no Dagoretti South without Kenya. Okay? So when we talk about national issues, I am being elected for the national office. The National Assembly is a national office, and we have to discuss national matters. So let it be clear to everybody that any leader who comes and says, mi na focus tu na constituency yangu, that leader needs to understand that when the whole house is on fire, you cannot focus on your bedroom. So asanteni sana, it's been a beautiful morning, and let us remember we have only one country. Let us preserve it. Mkituona hapa sisi tukipiga kelele. Tunapiga kelele juu tunataka gunism iishe na hizi shida zingine ziishe. It's not because we hate this nation. We just want this country to go back to the right space.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for that. A parting shot?
Yeah, thank you very much, Fred, and thank you for inviting me. I'll just finish by telling our people and our viewers that the first instinct of politicians is self-preservation, and all politicians running for office today are not running for office to help you. They're running for office first to have a job. They're running for office first to defend themselves. And everything you hear them speak is first of all for self-preservation. And so don't kill yourself because of your love or hate for any of them. Because remember, when these people cross the Rubicon, which is the 2027 election, the person you want to die for today will join the other one that you think you hate the most. And they'll tell you it will be because of national unity and national agenda. So there is no reason why you should be able to split yourself thin in the name of pulling and pushing because of politicians. At the end of the day, and when you talk about the terrorism and the goonship that is happening in this country, we the people are the first people who must be able to make the decision that will not be used, because politicians will only use us for their own political survival. That's why this country has a history where politicians can even attack themselves for the sake of political expediency. So we the people must not be brought into the script of politicians who are self-seeking, who are simply seeking for themselves and their families, and maybe when you come into the equation as a secondary tool.
All right. Thank you so much. Advice Mundalo, leadership and communications expert. Fanyamambo Kinodhia, MP aspirant, Dagoretti South constituency, and also a lawyer. And Haji Omar, MP aspirant Langata. These are the gentlemen who have been with us this morning on State of the Nation, discussing the big headlines from Goonism and the confusion therein. Who exactly is in charge? Where does the buck stops? Plus the prospects of Ndindi Nyoro and his newfound political vehicle, the People's Party of Kenya. Thank you so much for your very well considered opinions on what we've been discussing. After the break, as I had informed you earlier, we will be talking about childhood trauma when childhood hurts. We'll be having Richard Ziwa Zimbalist, Cindy Atieno, and Eddie Otunga for that conversation, moderated by my colleague Annie Odida. My name is Freddie Ndimuli. Good morning.